All right, a very good evening, everybody, once again from the virtual flight deck, and it's Capt Nabs here with you for another flight on our cross-country Canada tour. As you can see from the sign there on the building, we are parked right now with our beautiful CRJ in Lethbridge, Alberta, and we're going to head from Lethbridge. We're going to go west today. We're going to continue our westward jaunt. We're going to go to Kelowna first, and then we're going to head from Kelowna on down to Vancouver. So this is going to be the final two legs of our cross-country Canada tour. It's been kind of a fun month of just sort of touring some scenery, a little bit less pressure than the pilot's life career, but just having a little bit of fun along the way. Sometimes having some technical glitches as well, which have certainly tried my patience in a couple of cases. But nevertheless, happy to continue doing this and do the final two legs, and I'm hoping to get a couple people with us online today. I wanted to do this as a group flight, so if anybody is interested, we're going to boot this up right now in Lethbridge, and if you're not ready to go right now, but in about 45 minutes to an hour, hop on in Kelowna and join us for that final leg from Kelowna down to Vancouver. The scenery is beautiful, and the company's going to be lots of fun. We should have some ATC along the way as well, so yeah, if you get a chance, hop on down, because I would love to see you guys all there. In the meantime, we are ready to fly, so let's go ahead and hop in and start thinking about doing this here. So this is Lethbridge, Alberta. It's a small city on the in the southern end of Alberta, south of Calgary, and this is Freeware scenery. This is not the default scenery, but this is Freeware scenery that's available on flightsim.to. And let's just switch to the drone mode here just for a second, and you can have just a little bit of a look around here. It is really quite impressive scenery. It's not a big airport, so and I'm not trying to belittle the work the other person did here, because it looks really good. It's not a big airport, so it didn't have to build that many models, but even this customized little terminal building here is really great. It's obviously a very unique building, really kind of captured it nicely, and then this Air West hangar over here as well. It looks really good just to see that kind of off in the distance. So really kind of a nice little airport, more of a general aviation airport than an airline airport, really. I'm probably kind of pushing the limit at this point with the size of aircraft available here, but we can squeeze this out, no problem. And yeah, but definitely a nice little airport to visit. So I'm kind of glad that I spotted this on flightsim.to and I dropped in here. And if you get a chance, drop in and pick it up. It's flightsim.to. Just search for Lethbridge, Charlie, Yankee, Quebec, Lima, and you'll find this scenery. And it really is quite nice. I like it. I like it. All right, let's see if I can get back in the flight deck without screwing up the cameras too much. And I read this a little while ago. Oh, and you know what? I realized, speaking of cameras, there we are. Hello, everybody. I read this just a little while ago, and I was just sort of rereading, and somebody wrote a while back, but they said, why do you really need ChasePlane in this simulator? It's got such a complicated camera system already. What do you really need ChasePlane for? And I thought about that, and I said, well, yeah, there is a lot of things are very well done with the sim in terms of how the cameras are handled. Let's just bring up the camera stuff here. You know, you do have the different types of cameras. You do have the drone camera, the spot camera, the interior camera. You do have the capabilities of presetting a bunch of kind of locations around the flight deck and jumping directly to them. TrackIR also works really well in here. The biggest things I would say that I miss with TrackIR, or sorry, not with TrackIR. The biggest things I miss about ChasePlane here is having preset views per airplane. So depending on the aircraft, you could have, you know, first officer, captain, and having them named. First of all, so like instead of just having to remember like Alt 1, Alt 2, Alt 3 or whatever to jump around the flight deck, you could just name them something simple, and you can have your window up here and you can just click on them and jump straight to those positions, or you could have your hotkeys to jump back and forth through them, as I often did. So I found that was very useful, was having useful names to go with it instead of just trying to remember which numbered view I'm trying to look at here. Having a name associated with each one. It's simple, but it makes it a lot easier to remember, especially when you're jumping around with multiple different types of airplanes. Which kind of airplane is better? The other thing that I miss about ChasePlane is the static views outside the aircraft, where you could watch the aircraft from outside. So ChasePlane, when you ran it, would automatically generate a number of fixed cameras all around each airport. It would go through the scenery and compile fixed cameras, usually at each gate, each runway threshold, and you could create your own custom fixed cameras. So you could put one in like a control tower or like an observation deck or whatever, and you could easily, with just one click of a button on that screen, tap that camera and go to whatever view you wanted, and it could be fixed. It could follow the aircraft, or it could literally be fixed in the aircraft and just fly through the field of view, and that's it. So yeah, is ChasePlane better than the default cameras here? I don't know. There are some features of it that I like. The other thing that I missed too is the cinematic camera mode. So when I would step away and I would put it in cinematic mode, it would just kind of do scrolling, panning views past the aircraft as it was flying along at random. I missed that as well. You can still kind of do that here, but to have sort of an automated thing like that where while you're flying and en route, you can just enjoy some nice views without having to constantly sort of manually move the camera around. You could just, it would generate some automated, just sort of like just pans past the aircraft from different perspectives. So I kind of missed that. I liked that, and that's something else that I missed. So not to say the camera view system in here is not bad, because it is. There's a lot of good things about it. It works quite well in a lot of ways, but just having some of those abilities that ChasePlane provided, I do miss a couple of them, and those are some of the ones that I really miss. So, will ChasePlane ever come to MSFS? I don't really know. I'm skeptical, because I think that those guys are pouring a lot of their hearts into their Sky Park. Phil Dowling, welcome. Yeah, a lot of those guys I think are pouring their hearts into the Sky Park right now, so they're not going to be probably putting a lot of effort into it. Could they do something? I think they could do something with ChasePlane. I think they could make it a useful software product. The camera solution here is not fantastic. It's good. It's pretty good. But I think there are ways we could tweak it and improve it. So, should we get some kind of ChasePlane or additional camera add-on in the simulator? I think there's definitely room for it. I don't think the camera system in here is perfect, and I think we could definitely do something better. Anywho, we're got 2 flights to do tonight, and we got about 3 hours to do them. So let's get this show on the road. For those of you that missed the last stream, and maybe have been a little bit out of the news, there is some exciting news here as well. And that is that if you're flying the Aerosoft CRJ, there is now an FS2Crew CRJ. The FS2Crew for the CRJ has been released, and so let's run it here. I've played with it a little bit more since last week. Last week I had used it once and then went on the stream, and it didn't go particularly well. It was okay. That was my fault more than the software. I'm not going to blame the software. That was me not knowing what I'm doing. So hopefully tonight we'll have a little bit better sense of what the heck I'm doing, and we can make this work a little more effectively. So I'm going to mute it right now, because right now it's not muted. So I've got the software on the second screen here. Nice, even just like a nice little visual reminder here if it's muted. I have a hotkey for the mute, and just you can see that now it's not voice detecting anything, which is great. So I can talk ad nauseum, and it's not going to start doing stuff. The one thing I am going to try to get it to do, however, here is, first of all, I'm going to get it to open Pushback Express, which is a one-click button here in this as well, which is nice. And I'm also going to get the countdown timer going here. There we go, 35, 34 minutes until departure. That's a little bit much, so let's take it down.
All right, I'm out for the walk around.
29.
Back for the walk around. It all looks good.
He went out and he came back. I don't believe you did a walk around. I think you're faking it. I think you walked out the door, because the door didn't even open. Okay, give me 1 second here. I just got to get the track IR going. And wouldn't that have been embarrassing if I had forgotten to turn on my track IR before I started Microsoft Flight Simulator, because you can't start it once the sim is started. And this is one thing that kind of bugs me a little bit about this sim, is that everything needs to be up and running when the sim starts. And you can't start anything, plug anything in. If it's not running when the simulator starts, Microsoft does not want to hear about it, or Asobo doesn't want to hear about it. So if you forget to activate your track IR, you run the sim, guess what? You got to shut down the sim and start track IR and restart the sim, and it just bugs me a little bit. I mean, sometimes track IR crashes, and then you're left without track IR. So let's go ahead and open those doors. Let's get some ground power on this puppy here. All right, and basically now we're going to go through the captain's flow here. So let me just grab my handy dandy manual, because I'm still, like I said, learning. I'm still new to this. I'm still learning. Let me just make sure I did connect to VATSIM. Yep, we are connected. Good. Okay. And we do have ATC tonight. I did ask for it. It looks like we got somebody sitting around. So let's get this show on the road. Nose wheel steering off. Hydraulic pump off. Landing gear is down. Flap lever is at 0. Spoilers are 0. Radar is off. Parking brake is set. ADG manual release is stowed. Emergency flaps are normal. And battery master backed on. And I hope that's not too quiet. It sounds really quiet to me. This headset, I find it always sounds very quiet if things are very muffled in. So I'm going to turn my headset up a little bit here. Fire monitor push test. All right, so fire monitor, we should get 3 green and red lights there. We do. All right, and then establish GPU power. Here it comes. And when the safety check flow's finished, silently read the safety checklist. So safety checklist, circuit breakers, checked. Emergency equipment, checked. Nose wheel steering, off. Hydraulic pumps, off. Landing gears down, flaps set to 0, spoilers are at 0, radar is off. Parking brake set, ADG manual release is stowed, emergency flap switch is normal, and that's it. And then we can start setting up. All right. So originating check flow, electric panels, make sure all the generators are on. IRS has to go to a line, and I've learned this the hard way. If you don't start doing this soon, nothing's going to be aligned when you need it. Hydraulic shutoff valves are open and guarded. And the lights panel, we're going to get the nav lights on. It's daytime. We're not going to put the logo light on yet. Hopefully it won't be dark before we get to Vancouver. Start panel switches, everything's deselected. Hydraulics test, so we do a quick hydraulic test. We turn on systems 1, 2, and 3B, and a quick hide check, and we should see pressure in all 3 systems. We do. Back to auto for these, and the pressure should drop away to nothing. And if I put system 3A on again, builds up pressure into green and off again. Pressurization panel is all normal. Lights are out. Air conditioning panel. AP is not running yet, so no packs yet. Anti-ice. Set the windshield heat to normal. Ice detector test for the first flight of the day. Oops. That's this button over here. And we should get a ice message on here. ADS heat test okay. Perfect. Emergency lights. So they should be armed. No smoking sign should be on. Seatbelts we'll have to get once we've made sure we have fuel. Stall test. So it says set the trim to 6 for this. So 6. Stall. You can hear it. You can see it. It's all good. All right. EFIS RA test. And I don't think this does anything if it's not already... Yeah, if it doesn't already have the... If it's not aligned, it doesn't do anything really. CVR test we can definitely do. Hold for 5 seconds on the green button and you should see the green light come on. There we go. All right. Where am I here? CPR test. O2 pressure. 1850 is good. Upper pedestal check.
Hi, the security and safety check are all done. Are we good to start boarding?
Go for it.
Okay.
Let's see here. Main landing gear overheat test.
Gear bay overheat.
And the warning test fail. Yep. Thrust lever quadrant check. So I did fly the CRJ today, and I did. So everything should be set there. Thrust reversers are go to armed right now. Lower pedestal check. Make sure I turn on the stab trim, the mock trim, and the yaw damper. Radar test. I could put it on test mode, but it doesn't actually work in this sim yet. And yeah. And the originating check, I think I can do now. Let me just double check here. And then it's the pre-start check where it's the briefing. Yeah. Okay, so originating check.
Stand by. Maintenance status.
Complete left.
Complete right. Gear pins.
There we go. Stowed.
Removed. Hydraulic test.
Complete.
Clocks.
0017 set left.
17, set right. Originating check complete.
That was easy. That was almost too easy. All right, quick little head down here into the FMS. Let's get this programmed up, and then we can do our pre-start check. I'm starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with the CRJ here. It's taken me a little while, honestly. It's been 4 or 5 flights now, and I'm starting to feel comfortable with it. I won't say that like I am well versed in it, but I'm starting to get comfortable with how things flow in it at least. So let's just see here. There we go, CRJ. So I've got my tablet here for my FMS input, so we're just going to work off that. So we hit the position and net button there in the corner, next page, and we can grab the GNSS button. I just find this is so much more comfortable, realistic, and just less wear and tear on the wrist, clicking constantly and everything. When you're trying to program in a whole flight plan, clicking the whole thing is such a pain. So having like relatively realistic buttons, no, what am I doing here? I'm not thinking here. See, I'm trying to talk and think at the same time, and it does not go well. So we're doing Lethbridge to Kelowna. Our alternate for that, I already made the flight plan earlier today, so I looked at it. It was CYVR. CXA472 is our flight number. And that reminds me, while I'm thinking about it, I have to start CXA cars. Hello, I'm new to simming, and I am in the... And why do I get that message? I get that message a lot because I always forget that with this sim I have to run FSU IPC before I run a lot of these things here. There it goes. Hello, I'm new to simming, and in the flight plan section of my MCDU, trying to enter my top of climb, and I can't figure out how my lat long place bearing. Your top of climb, it should calculate automatically. Don't worry about the TOC. So if you have a flight plan that has a TOC on it, that's informational for you, but your airplane's going to calculate itself where the TOC should be. So I do have, in my flight plan, I do have a top of climb point. You don't program in the top of climb point. You just program in the waypoints. This is just showing you for the planning purposes. This is how the plan was generated. This is where your top of climb was however many miles. So this is how long we're going to be in cruise for, which is very short. Why is this filed so high? What is this filed at? 38,000. Oh my God. I might do like 30,000 at most. What a silly thing. But yeah, so you won't. I honestly don't know. I'll say this right off the bat. I don't know how to set up a custom waypoint in this FMS. I could probably figure it out. I'm not going to figure it out right now, but I could probably figure it out. But yeah, don't program in your top of climb point. Just skip right past that. So you just go. So yeah, for mine, and we'll go through this flight plan here. So here's our routing. It's really quite easy. Oh, actually, yeah. What's the weather doing here in Lethbridge? Give me 1 second. Okay, Lethbridge is showing winds 100 at 8, so probably should backtrack for runway 06. We're going to take 06 because it's the longer runway, so we'll backtrack for the full-length departure off runway 06. It's a relatively short runway for this aircraft, so I want to make sure we get off the ground pretty quick here. Yeah, so then I go into flight plan. Sorry, next page. That's what I'm trying to do here. And so the next page, the next waypoint is Keneal. So when you're trying to set up a flight plan, just program in just the routing here. Don't program in every waypoint, because this will show you what the routing is with any airways. If there's airways, it'll just say Victor, whatever, or Q, whatever. So you don't have to program in every waypoint. If it's on an airway, it saves you a lot of effort if you're doing that. And then same with the arrival. I don't program in the waypoints on the arrival. So yeah, so my top of climb and top of descent are in between Neil and Rob T here. So here's Neil, top of climb, top of descent, Rob T. It'll automatically generate those. So we don't program those into our FMS. The FMS will calculate where they need to be, but they're just for planning purposes. They're there for calculations. All right, so departure arrival into Kelowna. So we're doing the no-rip for arrival. Rob T transition. And we're not RNAV capable, so let's hope that the winds are favoring an ILS into Kelowna today. And they are. Nice. All right, so we're going to do the ILS Zulu. I feel like it's the leaner transition is the one I'm looking for. All right, we'll double check that once we get underway. But there's our flight plan. Everything's in there. It's not going to show you top of climb in this aircraft. in the sequence of waypoints. I hope that answered your question enough for you. Don't bother trying to program in your top climb. I honestly don't know. Okay, on other pilots' planes, the descent shows up on their nav display, but mine never shows up. So there could be a couple of reasons for that. It could be VNAV's an incredibly difficult thing to program in from a programming perspective. So some aircraft, it may not exist if you don't set any proper waypoints, or perhaps if you don't set the cruise altitude properly. So when we get to the perf page here, I'm not going to put any flex today because it's a short runway. But when we put in our cruise altitude, I'm going to put in 30,000 now. Make sure that you've programmed in your cruise altitude correctly. Yeah, I don't want to venture a guess because there could be any number of reasons why it's not showing you the top of descent waypoint properly. One thing you can do to kind of troubleshoot it is look through the legs of your flight plan here and just see what the altitudes indicated are. So once I've got my performance initialized, it should calculate what the altitude is going to be at each waypoint and show me what the altitude is going to be there. So yeah, I don't want to venture too many guesses because there could be any number of reasons why it's not showing up, and I'd love to help you out. I'm not going to spend my whole stream troubleshooting right now. I hope that's fair. But if you're interested, definitely reply to the video when this comes out on YouTube, and I'll see if we can track down why it's not working for you. Sorry, we were on the perf page. What am I doing here? Perf. Sorry. Distracted there. So let's load our aircraft here. Let's just have a quick look again at my flight plan here. So it's showing 64 people and fuel. We're showing 92, which is what we should have already, right? 98, perfect. So we just need to load some people. The fuel's good already. 64. Oops. Init fuel from aircraft, there we go. Just throw a little bit more baggage weight in there. Send it off to the sim. I almost feel like I want to do flaps 20 today. Maybe we'll do a flaps 20 takeoff. I've never done a flaps 20 takeoff in this aircraft, so we're gonna see how adventurous that's gonna be today. All right, so now we've got our numbers in there. Alternate cruise altitude to go to Vancouver. I imagine it's probably gonna be 20 as well, or something along those lines. Let's see here. Let me just turn this just a little bit more so it's, there you go, so you can see both things. Cruise altitude's right here, 32,000. Yeah, I'll put 30,000 anyways. And then ISO deviation and winds. This is just for performance calculation, so it can estimate the fuel burn, but it doesn't actually, in this airplane, because there's no auto throttle, doesn't actually affect anything. 325 at 50, other than just how it calculates when you're going to get to your destination. I put in 0.77 for the cruise, and that's it. All right. So the FMS is all set up and ready to go there. And just a quick flow through everything here before I do the pre-start check, just to make sure everything's in the right position here. Might as well start that APU now. And since we're starting the APU, we'll put the packs on. The recirc fan should be on. And we can go ahead and put the seatbelt sign on because we're already fueled. Starting the APU. I don't think we have a top altitude. Oh, do we even have a SID here?
Hi guys, here's the load sheet for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. Have a safe flight.
All right. So I don't honestly know. I don't think there is a SID, but maybe there is a SID. Let's have a look here. SID? Nope, no SIDs. So we're going to talk to Edmonton in a minute, and we're going to get some clearance. And some clarification. What I can get, though, is just a runway heading here. So if we depart runway 06, it's 056 is the heading. So let's just make sure that's programmed in. .056. Get those up. Bars are up. I'm just going to leave 10,000 for now because I'll put it at 99 just so I remember I haven't called for clearance yet. And actually, while I'm here as well, let's just check the rest of this weather here. 9 miles, broken at 10,000, 10 degrees, 3001 on the meter. That's what I'm looking for here. So 3001. There we go. 3001 is set twice. All right, and I think I've got everything just about ready to go. Edmonton 3502. So let's call for a clearance, then we'll do a quick briefing and run the rest of these checklists. Edmonton Center, good evening. Canadian Xpress 472, radio check. Hold on, let me just check my audio settings here because I did. Yeah, you know what? All right, let's change this up here. Check, check, check. That's better. Edmonton Center, good evening. Canadian Xpress 472, radio check.
Canadian Xpress 472, I read you 5.
All right, he sounds a little bit loud, but not too loud. Canadian Xpress 472, we're on the ground at Lethbridge, looking for the IFAR clearance over to Kelowna.
Canadian Xpress 472, Lethbridge, METAR today is of 100 Zulu. Was our 080 at 8 knots, 60 statute mile visibility, fuel class 6,500, broken at 1000. Temperature is 05, dew point is -2, altimeter 2997. Which runway would you like to use and how long until you're ready to go?
All right, Canadian Express 472. We're planning 06 for departure. We're estimating probably about 10, maybe 15 minutes before we're airborne.
Roger, standby 1.
All right, I'm not going to take the CRJ to Vancouver. I'm going to switch it for the DC6 when we get to Kelowna. I've got the DC6 with the Canadian Xpress Colours ready to go. Yeah, I'm going to swap airplanes when we get to Kelowna, just for a little change. I've flown the CRJ a lot. I want to show it off again. I've gotten a little bit more comfortable with the FS2Crew, so I'm trying to show it off still a little bit more. But yeah, I also want to just have some fun with the DC6. Yeah, bring the dash. That'll be a good one. That'll be keep a very similar pace, I think. Okay. Let's just make sure we get the charts here. So for any...
Canadian Express 472, I actually don't have a flight plan up here for you.
Okay, stand by. We'll double check on that. It's possible I did not hit file on it. It's very possible. Oh, the 1,000 things you've got to do before you go flying on VATSIM, and especially on stream. And Canadian Express 472, yeah, it was probably our oversight. You should have it now.
Okay, Express 472, I got it now. You're clear to Kelowna via the flight plan route 10 departure, fly 5,000. Runway heading. Depart runway 06 from 0554. Clearance kept valid now. Cancel left not airborne by 0045 Zulu.
And I'm sorry, can you say again the squawk code and the not valid time?
0554 and 0045 Zulu.
Yeah, it explains why I kind of messed up in my mind. Okay, too similar. Canadian Express 472 is cleared to Kelowna via the flight plan route. Will depart runway 06, fly runway heading, maintain 5,000. Squawk 0554, and the clearance is valid until 0445 Zulu.
0045. What made you wait that long?
Yeah, that actually makes more sense. 0045 Zulu for the time for Canadian Express 472.
Canadian Express 472, read back is correct. Taxi and takeoff on advisory. Call me the ship at the airport.
All right, back to the intercom for the departure. We'll call you this frequency airport, Canadian Express 472. All right, so I put that in there before I had a chance to forget. 5,000 on the runway heading, so let's go ahead and get 5,000 in there. There we go. All right, yeah, so quick briefing. So for any abnormality, we'll stop. Otherwise, this will be a lefty takeoff. Malfunctions prior to the V1 of 100 and... Okay, hold on one second. All right. Apologies for that, guys. There's a little minor disaster occurred outside my door there. All's good. Just okay. All right, sorry. Canadian Express, yes, thank you for posting that, Phil. Yeah, that's what we're flying today. Okay, yeah. I was doing the brief. For any emergencies prior to V1 of 124, I'll call stop or go. If the call is stop, close, thrust levers apply, maximum brake, apply maximum first stop on the runway. Call for any required memorandums or QRH checklists. If the call is go or out above 1, continue to take off at 400 feet, call heading mode, and ask to identify the failure. The engine failure procedure off of any runway in Lethbridge is just runway heading. Once established in the climb, we'll call for any required. We'll retract the flaps to schedule. Call for any required memorandums of QRH checklists. We're just going to check here what it says here. So taxi out is pretty straightforward. Alpha, backtrack for the full length departure runway 06. There is no SID, so it's pretty easy. Just to steal a number from from an approach plate here. MSA's around here, 6,000. So we got to get up decently high here to clear all the terrain. Other than that, we're just going to simply climb runway heading up to 5,000 and call Edmonton. We'll get vectors on course. Any questions? Are you ready for the takeoff briefing? Are you ready for the takeoff briefing? Hello? Are you ready for the takeoff brief? Are you ready for the takeoff brief? Are you ready for the departure brief?
Go ahead.
Any questions?
No questions.
Pre-start check.
Stand by.
I am definitely still learning this. Yeah, I should probably test my oxygen here too.
Fuel quantity.
Released with 9,800 kilograms on board.
9820 pounds. Confirmed. Cabin signs.
Oh, pounds, right. Wrong airplane. On.
Pressurization.
I'm going to say set. Set.
Altimeters.
3001 set. Left and center. 3001 set left and center. 3001 set left and center. Set and checked. Set and checked.
3001. Set right and cross-checked. Flight instruments.
This one's a long one.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board today. As
Autopilot
you
set
locate
my
your assigned
side,
seats, please
5,000
place
feet in the
your smaller
altitude,
items
heading
under the seat in front of you to provide more room for
056,
larger items in our overhead
set
compartments.
left.
If you need assistance, contact the
Set
flight
left.
attendant. If you are unable
Set
to
left.
accommodate any item
Set
in the
right.
cabin,
Oxygen
please bring it
flow.
to the boarding door and we will
Checked.
check it for you.
Checked
Also,
left.
review the safety
Checked right.
instruction card
FMS.
in your seat
Verified.
pocket. If you are seated
Radios.
at an exit seat, also
Set
review
left.
the exit seating criteria.
Set right. Takeoff brief.
Completed.
Pre-start check complete.
Very picky about his words, about his phraseology, isn't he? Everything's got to be exactly correct. All right. Parking brake is on. We can pull the chocks and close the door. And we're pretty much ready to go here. We're not going to have it push back here, so we're just going to get going. The only thing I'm going to do, just give me 60 seconds here. Fire the FO, yeah. I just have to put in my Canadian
Hey
Express.
guys, all packs are on board. Are we cleared to close?
Cleared to close. Cleared to close.
Thanks. Let me know if you need anything.
Oh, for crying out loud, this is happening again. Alright, just 1 second, guys, sorry. It happened already once where my CX-8 cars, when you start it, the aircraft are not loaded in
Starting
there.
engine 2.
No, don't start engine 2, you... Honest to God. What a jerk. I just can't seem to win with this guy. Just need to type in just this Canadian Express information here. And I need my routing as well for my flight plan. There we go. And now it's ready. Okay. Being a little bit difficult for me here.
Engine 2 start complete. Starting engine 2.
Stop starting the engine. Engine start check. Engine start check.
APU.
On.
Takeoff data set 4, 6, 8,500 pounds. V speeds are V1, 1, 2, 4, VR, 1, 2, 4, V2, 1, 3, 2, VFTO, 1, 9, 1, flaps 20. Set right.
Set left.
Trims
Set
engaged and centered. Point 6. Seatbelt and shoulder harness.
Check left.
Engine 2 start complete.
Checked left.
Checked right. Hydraulic pumps.
Auto and on.
Beacon.
On.
Nose wheel steering.
Off.
Doors.
Closed.
Engine start check complete.
Start engine 1.
Starting engine 1.
And this time I really actually mean it. Jeez, this guy just doesn't want to listen to me. It's the only trouble with FS2Crew, and that's why you have to. If you do have FS2Crew, and I do really enjoy it, but you've got to have a mute button here. And you've got to have it set up in your sim and hit it, especially if you're talking a lot, like I am. Move that up for the start. Alright, yeah, if you're talking a lot like I am, like obviously I'm talking to you guys as a stream, make sure you're ready to mute this all the time. So that he doesn't hear you say other things and try and interpret them. And see, he says engine start complete when it only passes like 38%. So I think that there's some kind of a timing issue there. I think it's timing. That's my first thought, is that it's based on timing. So as soon as he starts engine 1, it starts a timer. But I'm not sure. Some days the noise in this quadrant is ridiculous. Start engine 2.
Starting engine 2.
And I was even playing with this before. Creating like a really big gap so these things don't tend to move too far when they're in that gap there. See, about 21%, he adds the fuel. And then it gets about 35%, he says the start's done, and the start's not done until this engine reaches about 60%. So that's one thing that I think is a little glitchy. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Engine 2 start complete.
See? At 37%. I don't know if this engine starts slower in certain conditions, and maybe it's time for a faster start that happens some of the time, but it's way too fast. Like, he shouldn't call it through until at least 50%. Like, most starters don't cut out until around 50% or more. And really, you don't say a start is complete until the engine parameters are stable, too. So, once all this stuff stabilizes, that's when you consider the engine start to be complete. Gosh, I really have got to get a new throttle quadrant. I'm saving my money. Slowly but surely. Alright, so in order to trigger the FO, flight control check. Button. Go off, rudder check. And as soon as I finish the rudder check, he does his rest of his flight control check. Pre-taxi check. Oops. Wrong button. Pre-taxi check.
APU.
Off. Set.
Anti-ice. Set. Electrics.
On. Checked.
Nose wheel steering.
Armed.
Flaps 20. Set.
Flaps 20 required. Flaps 20 confirmed.
Flight controls.
Checked. Checked left.
Checked right. Pre-taxi check complete.
Clear left.
Clear right.
Left bridge traffic, Canadian Express 472. Left bridge traffic, Canadian Express 472 is on the ramp at left bridge. We'll be backtracking runway 06 for departure straight out. Okay, well I managed not to hit anything. Of course I probably blasted that citation pretty badly there. Since I got the thrust pretty far up there trying to make this sharp turn. These airplanes do not like to make sharp turns, and especially tail-mounted engines. This airplane does not like to make a sharp turn like this at a low power setting, or at a low speed. You've got to carry momentum into a turn, so to do a turn like that out from a gate in this airplane is a real pain in the butt. A really sharp, like maximum radius turn out, really a pain in the butt. Alright, so really short taxi out here. Before takeoff, check to the line. Before takeoff, checklist to the line.
Flight attendants, take your seat for departure, please. Cabin has been notified. Crossflow manual. Thrust reversers armed. Takeoff data set for runway 05. RNAV first fix identified. 5,000 feet pre-selected.
Set.
Fuel, mid-fuel confirmed. Takeoff config.
Checked.
Checked. For takeoff, check to the line complete.
Clear left.
Clear right.
Left bridge traffic and Express 472 is entering runway 06 for the backtrack full length departure. Gotta always remember to mute my mic while I'm talking, so I don't piss off my FO too much. Haven't had to do too much backtracking in this thing yet, honestly. Most of the airports I'm flying to, it's usually they're usually the bigger airports, so it's a little bit different to backtrack, but that's okay. A little bit of fun here. And I hope a bunch of you are getting ready to log on in Kelowna and meet me there, and we'll have our last little group flight for terminating this cross-country tour. But it's been tons of fun. I've enjoyed the chance to kind of visit these airports. You know, I enjoy the challenge of flying a pilot's life and having specific places to kind of go to, a specific mission in mind, but sometimes it's also nice to kind of have some chance to free fly a little bit. And there's so much good scenery in Canada, this gave me a really good chance to kind of see it in a way that was it was fun. I got to do it, but I got to choose how to do it and which airports to visit. So I could show off what the airports I've enjoyed, and like I said, like this one's really good. Lethbridge on flightsim.to, it's freeware and it's really quite good. So I highly recommend it if anybody's flying in Alberta at all. It's a good little place to drop into, and especially if you're doing GA flying, it's a nice little airport with some really good looking scenery. Come here for the $100 hamburger. Before takeoff, check down to the line.
Flight attendants, take your seat for departure, please.
Never put my strobe on.
Cabin has been notified. Crossflow manual. Thrust reversers armed. Takeoff data set for runway 05. RNAV first fix identified. 5,000 feet pre-selected.
Oh, let's do the line again. Set.
Fuel, mid-fuel confirmed. Takeoff config.
Checked.
Checked. For takeoff, check to the line complete.
Before takeoff, check below the line.
Anti-ice.
There we go. On. Set. Set.
CAS.
Checked.
Checked. For takeoff, check below the line complete.
Alright, let me just make sure my CXA cars is tracking here. Yeah, it is. Okay, good. Alright. Almost did a no-no, almost stopped there. Runway heading check.
Check.
Left bridge traffic in Xpress 472 rolling runway as 06 IFR straight out. Lights are on. Set thrust.
Thrust set. $80 knots.
Checked.
V1, rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Speed mode, heading mode. Set speed 220. Climb sequence. Autopilot on. Select autopilot on. There we go. This time he's doing it. He's retracting the flaps one stage at a time here as we accelerate. Perfect.
Flaps up.
Edmonton Center, Canadian Xpress 472 airborne off of left bridge leveling 5000.
Canadian Express 472 squawk ident.
Here comes the ident, Canadian Express 472. You know what I realized? We were 5 minutes past our time. I didn't even
Canadian Express 472 identified, climb flight level 380, turn left heading 300.
Left turn heading 300 and climb flight level 380, Canadian Express 472. All the way up to 380. And Canadian Express 472, can we request 300 for the final?
Canadian Express 472, that's approved. Climb flight level 300.
Thank you very much, Canadian Express 472.
Will that be your final cruising altitude tonight?
Yeah, that's affirmative. 380 was a little bit too high for this flight.
Right.
Set speed 250. After takeoff checklist. This is a silent checklist, so he does some stuff, but he doesn't even say anything as he's doing it. Mostly because they don't want it to be a distraction. If you're in a terminal area where you're getting...
After takeoff check.
Check. Where you're getting like lots of instructions right after departure, they don't want you being distracted, so that's why it's done as a silent check in this airplane, apparently, for this particular airline. And that's the thing, is like, it's when you're dealing with FS2Crew, you're learning an SOP for a very specific airline. Sometimes that's helpful, sometimes it's not.
And Canadian Express 472, proceed direct Neil on course.
Direct Neil on course, Canadian Express 472. Alright, so direct Neil. Confirm.
Confirmed.
Execute and nav. How are we doing? Temperature minus 13. Let's just get that let's get that engine anti-ice on just to be safe. And away we go. We're on our way over to Kelowna. It's about 250 miles. Yeah, let's go to 30. It's just not worth going all the way to 38. As you saw, like in the flight plan, like the top and climb and top and descent were pretty close together when we actually were going all the way to 30. So there we are. We're through 11,000. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the speed back at 250 just for the climb through this cloud layer here. And then once we get through the cloud layer, we'll bring the speed up here. See, just a nice little disc there coming up through the sun. Sun just peeking through those clouds. And part of the joy of doing this West Coast flying is that I can hopefully get this stream done just before the sun goes down in Vancouver. So we're sort of chasing the sun westbound here. So my hope, and I didn't alter the time on the sim here at all, because my hope is to get it done just in time for the sunset into Vancouver, which should be absolutely beautiful. It's just such gorgeous scenery out there. can do is we can take the seatbelt sign off. If we don't think it's going to be bumpy. It might be bumpy through those clouds. Eh. Hopefully they'll be okay. And hopefully it's not too quiet. I hope the volume of the SIM is good this time. I found it was a little, it's hard finding like that perfect point where it's like it's loud enough you guys can hear what's happening, you guys can hear what's coming in, what the FS2Crew is telling me, without making it to the point where nobody can hear anything. Like if I'm trying to talk over the engines, and it's so loud that you can't hear anything. So somebody is talking a lot there on Edmonton FSS. And we got Vancouver Center online, thank you. So who's here as, because I don't recognize that voice. Oh, that is Nathan. Okay, yeah, that is you, Nathan. And Brad is on Vancouver. So thank you guys very much for the ATC this evening. It is very much appreciated as always. Yeah, I look upon this as a great chance to show off kind of what it's like to fly with this good ATC with VATCAN's best controllers, you know, on the mics, on the scopes, and I think it's a great thing. And I wish that more people had time to fly. I'm just going to try and increase the speed a little bit, but hopefully not go into clouds. Fly online. I'm always trying to encourage people to fly online and get used to it. So if anybody's got any questions, of course, there's a couple of controllers chatting watching the stream here, able to answer questions, and of course I can try as well from the pilot's perspective or the controller's perspective. You name it. If you've got a question, certainly about flying on VATSIM, please. As far as programming in a specific waypoint now, you sort of got me a little curious about this. And there's got to be a way to do it. So in a lot of other aircraft, if you just simply type in an unknown waypoint, no. Oh, and there's a transition. Standard is set there. We're pretty much above it now. We're giving it a full 290 knots now. And I can get FS2Crew to do this for me. I like doing it myself too. Yeah, so in a lot of FMSs, if you simply type in a waypoint that doesn't exist, it will then give you an option to create that waypoint. I honestly don't know if there is a way to create a custom waypoint in this database here. I'm sure in the real world that there is, but whether or not that's been modeled is a whole other question. So no, not MFD data. VOR status, LRN status, nav status. Let's see here. Just trying to think. Secondary flight plan. I don't think there's anywhere. No, index maybe. Database. Pilot waypoint list. Oh, aha. Define waypoint. So there is a way. Aha. There is a way. Okay, so if you go under index, index, database, and then you've got pilot waypoint list. So a list of any waypoints that pilots have created, that you created as the pilot, and you can create your own custom waypoints there, define a waypoint. You can either do it as latitude, longitude, place, bearing, distance. Okay, there we go. I figured there was a way, because this is a pretty good FMS. Like, honestly, like, the developers at Aerosoft have done a pretty good job of setting up a pretty realistic looking FMS. So I would have been pretty surprised if you couldn't set up a custom waypoint. Not the easiest thing in the world, but it is possible to do it there. So you can name it anything you want, as long as it doesn't overwrite an existing name. So generally, letter number combinations are probably going to be your safest bet for not overwriting something that already exists. And try to make it sure, if you're going to name something a custom waypoint, try of course to make it something that's going to be obvious that you're going to remember in the future when you come back to it the next time. But I knew that I figured there had to be a way to do it. I haven't had to do it yet, but yeah. Of course, there would be in the real world for sure. It's just a question of whether or not Aerosoft chose to emulate that. And their FMS is pretty good. There are some, I think there are a few simplifications but I don't think any of them are really unreasonable. You know, there's only so much you can do, and when you're programming an entire computer, because this is really, it's a separate computer within the airplane, so you're programming a computer to operate within your computer. You know, you're gonna usually have to make some compromises to try and keep the performance to a reasonable level, especially when you consider how much other calculations and everything is going on at the same time when you're in a sim. So I can usually forgive some simplifications with the FMS as long as the more basic functionality is there. And that to me is things like being able to create and modify a flight plan on the go while you're flying. You can modify the flight plan, change the waypoints, program in some kind of a realistic VNAV situation. Those are kind of, to me, essentials. If you can do that, it doesn't have to be perfect, and because I can accept that there's going to be simplifications. You can't capture all of these computers in all their glory within a simulator. It's just, you couldn't ask these computers to do this much. Most of those FMSs are probably probably have about 50% as powerful as your desktop computer to begin with. So trying to simulate one of them within your desktop computer with all the other overhead going over that, just it's too much. All right, we're on our way to Kelowna. We've got, what do we got? We probably got about 45 minutes until landing, give or take. 44, pretty close. So the one thing I was going to talk about, because I just want to talk about it because I'm kind of excited. Yesterday, some of you guys are probably aware that DC Designs released the Concorde for Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's been kind of in the works for most of the last 2 years. I didn't realize there's such a small design team. Really, basically, there are 2 guys that worked on this aircraft and produced this aircraft and brought it into the simulator. So that's pretty impressive. It's not a half bad looking airplane, to say the least. I've watched a couple of videos of it, and actually, if you go, you can buy it from Just Flight. If you go to the store page on Just Flight, you can actually download the manual and read the manual if you want, and try and decide if it's something that you are interested in. For me, I think the answer is a definite yes. It's something that's it's definitely quite a bit different from most of the other airliners. Although at the end of the day, it's gonna be somewhat similar in a lot of ways. It's still an airliner. You're still gonna fly it. There's just 29 for 30. It's very similar to kind of other airliners, but you're gonna go a lot faster, and that's probably gonna be one of the things. I watched a guy doing a live stream of it, and it was pretty good. And then he brought it into land, and he pitched up just a little bit too high, and that delta wing, it just floats on a cushion of air, and he just floated halfway down this like 10,000 foot runway before he finally touched down, and had to just absolutely hammer the reverse and the brakes to get it to stop. So it's probably a little bit more of a slippery airplane than most other airliners out there. So I look forward to it as a bit of a challenge, something very different. Obviously, going a little bit faster. Also having a flight engineer, not something that's happening here anymore, but having a flight engineer that you know, and having to fulfill the role of the flight engineer. Those are
Edmonton Center, Air Canada 117, good evening. We are climbing past 4,500.
Mark 77.
I'm sorry, Air Canada 117, you're identified. Welcome aboard. Climb flight level
45 Hawk, welcome aboard.
And proceed to our Bulimia on course.
Definitely the Concorde has me interested. I've got a bunch of stuff kind of going on right now that I'm trying to sort of get through. Obviously, Across the Pond is coming up this weekend, so it's sort of taking up a lot of my extra time trying to sort of put some planning and thought towards organizing that. I'll be doing a live stream, of course, on Saturday afternoon from Vancouver Centre. So if anybody is interested and you're around on Saturday and you're not already flying and doing 1,000 other things related to Across the Pond, I will be online streaming Across the Pond starting, I believe my shift is going to start at 19:30 Zulu, so sometime around then. It's 8:03 p.m. here, so you must be in Central Time. Here it's only 6:03 right now, so that's why the sun is still so high in the sky. It's 6:03. Well, I guess no, actually technically I'm probably in Mountain Time, so probably right now it's 7:03. But as I head west, we're going to change time zones shortly, and then we're going to be 6:03. Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying the Concorde out, and I'm saving up a little bit of money for it. It's not actually bad either, I have to say. They priced it out at $40 US, which is really not that bad of a price for what looks like a pretty decent, certainly very unique add-on. It looks like they've taken a lot of time to put a lot of detail into it. It looks like it looks like everything in the flight deck should work, and that includes everything on the flight engineer station, which is probably the busiest station in the airplane. It looks like everything on there does work. There are realistic indications. Switches are all supposed to be able to do at least something. I don't think it's not a super systems depth. It's not PMDG level, but it strikes me as kind of like an Aerosoft level where you do have to kind of follow the procedures and flip the switches and get everything kind of working in the right order in order for the flight to function. It's not going to be perfect, but it's not going to be like a super in-depth simulation of all different failures or everything. But just to sort of see it, I'm looking forward to seeing it. 45 Hawk. It looks like it's 4 Shock, but it's 45 Hawk. We are on our way we took off from Lethbridge, Alberta. We're on our way over to Kelowna. We're going to trade in the CRJ for a DC6 when we get to Kelowna and then continue on to Vancouver. So some absolutely beautiful mountainous scenery. Not that you can see too much of it out there yet. You can see a little bit there. But yeah, the approach to Kelowna is always fantastic. So that's going to be fun. And yeah, good scenery, and we're also doing a group flight, so if you have your sim open and you want to join us, there's a couple people at least. I haven't even looked yet, but I know at least 1 or 2 people are booting up in Kelowna as we speak. 2 people so far, but more are welcome. Just for a little bit of fun. This is the final episode of my cross-country Canada tour, where I've just tried to tour some of the better airports in Microsoft Flight Simulator that are available in Canada. So we started right in the East Coast in Halifax, hit up Moncton, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Sault Ste. Marie, Winnipeg, over here to Lethbridge, and now Kelowna and Vancouver. So just trying to show off some of these really high quality airports that are available in Canada, as well as, of course, some high quality ATC on the VATSIM network. And so can I fly to Texas? Well, I could, and actually I will. My next kind of streaming mission after this episode is going to be resuming what's my pilot's life career. Resuming my pilot's life career, and actually I will be based in Dallas, Texas for the next month. So I haven't run it for a little while. I forget what the trips are, but my home base for my next schedule is DFW. Yeah, Dallas. I'll be working for American Airlines, flying initially the Airbus A320, and whenever PMDG releases it, I will also fly the 737 under the American banner. So I'm going to be hitting up about 10 or 12 legs in and out of Dallas-Fort Worth. So not today, but next month, probably starting sometime next month. Yeah, we're going to hit up DFW a bunch of times over the course of the next month or so. So if you want to know when we're streaming, of course, follow the channel, obviously, and the next stream I'm going to do for sure is going to be Saturday afternoon when we do the Across the Pond ATC stream. But after that, probably the next flying stream we do will probably be starting off in Dallas, going somewhere. I forget where it is. I generated the schedule like 3 weeks ago, and I've forgotten what it is. So I'll have to look it up later when I get a moment. We've got about 100 miles to our top of descent, so let's just start already setting this up. Let's send for some weather in Kelowna. Alright, so Kelowna, yeah, winds 180 at 5, altimeter 3001. So let's go ahead and set that in standby so it's ready. We can reference it. And let's start pulling up charts here. Here we go. So we're going to cross that boundary shortly. Alright, so Kelowna, chart list. Rip 4. Isla Zulu 16. We have the taxi chart up there as well. Alright, so let's just check the no rip first of all, just see what we got here. So we are coming in from, where are we joining this here? We're joining it at Rob T. I'm surprised we didn't join it through Cranbrook. This is what SimBrief generated, so it's what I went with. It almost seems odd that we didn't go to Cranbrook to join it. But anyways, Rob T at or above 12.4, Eblel at or above 11,000. And I believe these are both in the... Yeah, these restrictions are already in there.
Canadian Express 472, contact Vancouver now, 33.7, good night.
Over to Vancouver, 33.7 for Canadian Express 472. Thank you very much for the service. Good night. Vancouver Center, good evening. Canadian Express 472, flight level 300.
Xpress 472, Vancouver Center, hello, plan runway 16. When ready, descend 16,000. Kelowna altimeter 3001.
Okay, runway 16 in Kelowna, when ready, 16,000 on 3001. We are planning the RNAV Zulu, Canadian Xpress 472.
RNAV Zulu, roger.
Alright, let's see if I can do this.
Sure, Alpha Charlie's on clear of the Sierra left, and we would like to go to Millionaire.
Sierra Alpha Charlie, Millionaire, taxi via Mike Victor Hotel Echo, and hold short.
Alright, yeah, so those restrictions are in there, and then for runway 16 no rib
My
is
Victor
max to 10
Hotel
knots
Echo
at
and
above
we'll hold
8,800 and
right.
leaner max to 10
Sierra
knots.
Alpha Charlie.
So we've got
1 Tango
no rib.
Golf wind 200 at 11, gusting 20, clear to land 8 left.
8 left,
At
clear land,
above
1 Tango
8,800.
Golf.
Looks like we're going to hit that leaner at our, leaner doesn't have an altitude restriction, but doesn't have a speed restriction there. This should have a speed restriction here too at no rib, but it doesn't really matter too much anyways because we just hand fly the speed restrictions, there's no auto throttle. So I'm not going to worry too much about setting that. And then from leaner, hopefully we won't have to go to Ep.5, but if we do, it's still in there. Otherwise, we'll hope to transition directly into the ILS runway 16. And I'm just sort of giving this as a briefing as I'm setting it up here. So, yeah, let's do this. Are you ready for the approach brief?
Go ahead.
There. Now he's listening. 111.3 and 159. So let's get those frequencies in there.
WestJet 8967, turn right, direct NDB on course.
111.3. Okay, those are both set.
WestJet 8967, can you say again, please?
Approach course.
Turn right, direct NDB on course.
So let's do this. What we do is sync up the heading bug, go into heading mode for a second, switch our nav source
Direct
to the
NB
ILS,
on course, WestJet
and set
8967.
159.
Number 1 Tango Golf, request taxi to gate 34,
So that's
please.
160 right there.
1 Tango Golf, gate 34, taxi Mike
Okay, it's set. Now we
Juliet
go back to
Lima.
nav.
Mike Juliet Lima,
And
1 Tango
re-engage
Golf.
nav. And then for the other side, we're just going to do this the easy way. Let's see if this works. Set course on your side, 159. Yeah, he's doing it. It's funny because the knob doesn't actually move, but you can see he is actually turning it. It's going there. Oh, I forgot about the other stuff too. Where is it here?
Hi, it's Andy at L1. How can I help you?
1 water, please.
Okay, I'll bring the drinks up in a minute.
Wow, she just never sounds happy about that, does she? Alright, it looks like he's got 159 in there. Well, good.
Hi guys, here are the drinks.
Thank you. Okay, back into FMS mode on that side as well. Alright. Sorry, let's finish setting this up here.
You're up.
Obviously, need to beat that.
Vancouver Center, good evening, Air Canada
Just when he said gear up.
7019 is on the ground at Shell Aviation and Abbotsford looking for clearance off to
Okay,
Winnipeg.
159. Glide slope
Air
2870.
Canada 7019, I for clearance, on request number 1.
4.3 DME and the ILSDA conditional 1660. So let's just set that here. So we got to do this. We got to do. Oops, no, actually we got to do that first. Then we do that and dial it all the way up to 1660. It's going to take me a minute here. Alright, so the ILSDA is 1660, the touchdown zone at 1409. I've got 1540 on the LFE there, so a little high. Get it down to 1420. Yeah, there we go, 1420, perfect. MSA is 8800, there's mountainous terrain all around here, so it's going to be really nice when we're going in there, but we got to make sure we are sticking to the indicated routes. 8800 feet is the MSA. Mr. Approach, do not exceed 250 knots until Ep.5. Climb track
Sierra Alpha Charlie is holding Troy right.
Climbing right turn. Track 216 to VEPTO. Ep.5, not above 2 knots until VEPTO. Then Ep to left to VEPTO. Then climb track 227 to 9,000 feet to Miser. As required, shuttle climb.
Okay, Sierra Alpha Charlie, looks like you're still on hotel. We can't cross you across an active runway more than 90 degrees anymore. However, tell you what, we'll just switch runways now. So the 26s are active. Cross 26 left, continue Hotel Alpha, and Foxtrot your discretion, the Millionaire.
I like it, Brad.
So about that Hotel
very,
Alpha,
very creative. I like that solution to the problem.
Millionaire.
We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, restricted instrument procedures are now required. Safe altitude 100 miles, 10 is 12,500. Predicted altimeter procedure not authorized for a wingspan greater than 118 feet. No, we got about 100 foot span on this. It's not even 100 foot span, so it's good. Low probability 10 degrees center line. Procedure turns not authorized. Aircraft weight shall be greater to meet the published climb gradient. And when computing the aircraft weight correction, temperature pressures. Yeah. So yeah, it's a pretty tight little mountain fix we got to get down into here, and we've got to have a minimum climb gradient of 370 feet per nautical mile. If we're doing 180 feet or 180 knots, even 200 knots, it's only 1,200 feet per minute. This airplane, even on a single engine, should be able to maintain that, so we should be capable of doing this approach. Once we land on runway 16 in Kelowna, we're going to just take whatever convenient taxiway to the right we can get, and then taxi to the apron here. We're going to park at apron 1 and switch out to our DC-6. Any questions?
No questions.
Cool. Brad, I like that. That was a nice creative solution.
Sure, Charlie is clear of that.
Because, yeah, there was a policy that was recently made in Canada that controllers can't cross an aircraft across an active runway if the pilot cannot see the approach end of that runway. So, I'm trying to think here. And I'll use Vancouver as an example here. Pull it up here. Kelowna's not good at this. So let's just see CYVR. Search. But Vancouver's a perfect example of this. So what happened? This is sort of something they've done to try and mitigate runway incursions. But so take something like this, like Hotel here is a perfect example.
Vancouver Center United 112 mic check.
Someone taxiing down Hotel here.
4 actually.
It's going to have a hard time looking back this way down the runway when they're crossing this runway. So if the 8s are active and the 8 rate is active, this guy's taxiing down Hotel. Legally, they're not allowed to cross the runway at Hotel if you cannot look and see the approach end of the runway and see if anybody
runway 26 left.
If 26 is active, it's a different story because it's almost right in front of them. You can see that way. So they're not, you're not allowed to cross aircraft on a not 90-degree taxiway. If it's oriented, so the pilot will not be able to see any airplanes that are taking off and landing on that runway. So planes coming towards them on the right.
Is that correct? Push start approved at your discretion. Call for taxi.
One procedure would be, of course, to taxi to Echo and then go to cross at Echo where it's 90 degrees. So you can definitely look both ways and see what's coming. What Brad did was he just simply said, okay, well, the other runway's active now, so now I can legally cross you, which is... Brad, I like it. That is it's a smart way to kind of work around that rule. I like it. And that's funny, like I would never have even thought of that. But as long as you don't have other aircraft using that runway right now, you can change it for 5 minutes and change it back. But yeah, it's a good little solution for that problem. Your beer's probably in your fridge still, I assume. All right, so there's our top of descent point for who was it that was asking earlier? Cayenne Blaze. The top of descent point there, it was just auto-generated. It's not in the flight plan, but it was just auto-generated by my system based on the altitude restrictions I've got for the arrival. It's automatically determined where that top of descent point should be, and it's drawing it on there. So it's not programmed in there. It's not a white or a magenta waypoint. It's a little green one, which indicates it's just an altitude constraint waypoint. All right, did I ask any questions? Yeah, I did. Okay, good. Time for a couple of quick little...
Center, Canada 709, just checking to see how that IFR clearance to Winnipeg is coming.
All right, what was I looking for?
Air Canada 7019
myself for a
Australia.
moment.
You're cleared to Winnipeg. Gap 4 departure, departing runway 07 and flight plan route squad 0705. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. Clear to Winnipeg via the Gap 4 departure, runway 07 0705, Air Canada 7019.
Air Canada 7019, reback is correct. Pushback and startup are approved at your discretion. Call as frequency for taxi.
Call back for taxi, thanks, 701.
Nice views to put on my title shot there. It is a nice looking airport. And I have to say, like, the painters who made Express do a fantastic job. Mark, I think, does some of the work. I'm not sure if it's all of it.
Vancouver Center, Air Canada 12, just confirming runway for departure, 26 left.
Fantastic job.
It's 26 exactly now.
They really look good.
Roger that, United 112.
Step marks on there. Just the level of detail that goes into these aircraft. Really quite something. 20 miles to go till our top of drop. So we're going to be in there in a few minutes, guys. We'll get this turned around and we'll head back on that next leg. Actually, while I've got a couple seconds here in cruise, I might even just go and sim brief and just get ready to set up that next leg. So she's all ready to go because I've already got my that open there. So go into sim brief really quick. And I actually, the nice thing I can do when I'm doing multiple legs like this in a day is I can go and I can kind of pre-generate my flight plans, and then it's really quick to just sort of get them going again here. So I'm going to say 2:15. Nothing really matters, but 2:15 so we'll hopefully be airborne, and hopefully even earlier than that, honestly. So let's regenerate this flight plan really quick, and then it's ready to go, ready to hit file and go. And there we go. Once we get the airplane swap, then I may take a really quick short 5-minute recess just to go use facilities once I get there. But because I found that at the last time when I did the leg in here, it was just it's a little bit too much coffee in the morning. Ended up really trying to rush almost through the arrival because we had to use the facility, had to go and use the lab at the earliest convenience. And there's no first officer to take over here while I'm doing it, so it's all on me, especially with this airplane. This airplane with no auto throttle, like in the 3.7, you can walk away from it for 5 minutes and it'll probably be okay, because the auto throttle will bring the power of the airplane back down in the descent. It'll be fine. But in this airplane, nope, it's all on you. You have to do it all yourself, which is fine. I don't mind, but it just makes it that much harder to step away for 2 minutes. Why is it set to 7100? Did my co-pilot do that when I wasn't looking? Was it 14 or 16? Vancouver Canadian Xpress 472. Can you confirm the cleared altitude? Was it 14 or 16,000?
16, but now you're cleared 8,800.
Cleared 8,800. Thank you, Canadian Xpress 472. My overzealous FO, I think, is messing with my altitude knob here. And you got to be careful in these mountains. I even put that in our controller briefing for Across the Pond. I said altitude constraints in Canada are mandatory, and especially in Vancouver, you've got to be careful because they will keep you from slapping yourself into a mountain. So if you guys are flying CTP and you're flying to Vancouver on Saturday, for the love of God, read those charts, read those altitudes on the stars, and make sure you obey them. Because all those star altitudes, well, a lot of them are there specifically to ensure that you don't hit a mountain. Some places they're just procedural; they're just there to help ATC with climbing aircraft that are departing underneath you and that sort of thing. But no, in Vancouver, they are there because of the mountains. So make sure you respect those. Make sure you respect all those altitudes. All right, so there's VS minus 1,000 to start. Just past that top and ascent point any second now. So I think that's hopefully will kick in there any second now. There it is. Perfect. We'll just see if we can't track it all the way down nicely. It'll provide some nice VNAV guidance for us. And I think it wants me to go down a lot faster than this. Let's try about 24. It's not a perfect system, and sometimes gets a little finicky and bounces up and down, but howdy Nabs. Hornet 9711, welcome aboard. And 5 Dev, love from your favorite FSS controller. You will be a center controller before you know it. I'm sorry I couldn't do Cranbrook. I don't think there's any scenery for Cranbrook. I kind of had this already sort of spelled out based on the scenery I had installed. So.
Vancouver Center, Air Canada 399, radio check.
Air Canada 399, read U5.
Thanks.
Oh, you mean, sorry. You mean Edmonton FSS. See, for a second I thought you were talking about, like the Cranbrook FSS.
Vancouver Center, United 112,
My mistake, my apologies.
26 left.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for the service. Always appreciated for sure.
United 112, wind 180 at 11, altimeter 3015, runway 26 left, taxi Juliet Hotel Delta and hold short 26 left.
I'm just trying to see here.
Runway 26 left, altimeter 3015, taxi Juliet Hotel Delta, hold short of 26 left, Air Canada United 112.
Set rate a little more here. Nice to have that arc on there that shows when we're going to level off. Yeah, so now it's right there around that point, so this should work out pretty well. Because we also need a little bit of room to slow down as we go down through 10,000 feet. So, and Hornet 9711. I don't know who all of my fellow controllers are because unlike Discord, we don't have real names here. It's all nicknames, but nevertheless, appreciate all the service from all the controllers. It's gratifying to see VATCAN come together so well lately. It's been probably about some of the best staffing we've seen for years. In all honesty, Xplane Pilot 13. Good evening. Welcome aboard. You're just in time to watch us descend through the mountains into Kelowna in about 10 minutes or so here. Should be just an absolutely beautiful approach here. But yeah, I've got to say, like, VATCAN has become a very hip-hopping, busy, what am I trying to say, hip-happening, busy place.
Vancouver Air Canada 7019, clear for taxi to 07.
But it's become a very happening place lately.
Air Canada 7019.
Lots of consistent controlling, especially in the evenings. It's great to see it.
The wind 190 at 8, altimeter 3015.
I was a little worried when, when
runway
COVID
7,
started.
taxi
And
Delta, Charlie,
going back now a long way, but like, it was so nice to see like so many people online. It was such a great thing to see the online networks, everyone really taking advantage of them. I was afraid that once everyone sort of wanted to go outside again, it would never happen anymore. I have to say that is not the case. It definitely we are still able to maintain a pretty high level of control, even with people trying to go out and actually have lives again, go out in public and go eat or socialize or whatever. There's still a lot of people on this network, and I think I wonder how much of that too is Microsoft Flight Simulator helped just get people really interested in this hobby again. They did their developer live stream last week, I think, last week, maybe it was even early this week, and one of the things that came up was that with with Microsoft Flight Simulator, I believe, was being on Game Pass now, that the number of people using Microsoft Flight Simulator simultaneously has been pushing new records constantly, just blowing old records out of the water. And so there's many people getting into this. Not everyone's going to be long-term here, for sure, absolutely, but even if you get like 5% of the people, 2% of the people who are playing on the Xbox interested in this enough where they become long-term simmers, that's still a huge increase to the community. I'm just here to be a part of your video. Yeah, it's all because of that super lovely hip division director. Yeah.
WestJet 8967.
If anybody knows who it is, please let us all know.
135.025.
135.025. Thank you, WestJet 8967. Have a safe one.
Transition set 3001. And descent check. Descent check.
Pressurization set. Fuel checked. Altimeters.
3001 set left.
3001 set right. Landing data set for 600 pounds. Thrust reversers.
Armed.
Lights.
Set.
Seatbelt sign.
On.
Seatbelt and shoulder harness.
Check left.
Checked right. Approach briefing.
Complete.
Descent check complete.
I never turned off the lights at 10,000. I just realized that. Too busy trying to avoid that ice and everything going on. I'm definitely feeling better about FS2Crew now.
Vancouver Center, United 112.
Feeling more comfortable. I'm still.
I
didn't even put myself back up on the video again here, but
departure is with me on this frequency. Give me a call
catch my
airborne.
little surreptitious
Wind
glances over
180
this
at
way
11.
on my second
Fly heading
screen over
210, clear takeoff, 26 left.
there. Yeah. On the second screen over there, I have the FS2Crew window open, so I'm kind of glancing at it now and then to sort of see what the calls are, make sure I'm not
Getting
missing
Express
calls.
472, altimeter 3000.
30-inch Steven, thanks. Getting Express 472. Just to make sure I'm not missing any calls or anything. That's not what I was looking for. I want to see what the altitude was on that arrival here. FS2Crew is still on my sim here. Alright, so it's 8,800 at no rip, I believe. Let's just double check.
Station calling unreadable.
Yeah, it was 8,800 at no rip. As long as we're above 8,800 at no rip. We're going to have to start throttling back here.
Vancouver Center, Air Canada 399, ready to copy IFR.
Don't go in reverse.
Air Canada 399 cleared to Vancouver, Merit 2 departure, departing runway 16 on the flight plan route, squawk 0730.
Cleared to Vancouver, Merit 2 departure, runway 16, squawk 0730, Air Canada 399.
Temperatures.
Air Canada 399 read back correct, pushback startup approved at your discretion.
The ice on here.
Traffic for you to watch out for is, let's see here, you've got on your left hand side a, sorry, it's a company dash 8. And then call on this frequency for taxi.
If I can start my discretion, we'll call for taxi and
set speed 250.
Vancouver Center, United 1 full passing by 2,000.
Going on your microphone again. It was bad, and then it was good, and now it's bad again.
I also missed the speed restriction here, so I got to really start slowing this thing down and start losing some altitude.
Apologies, Air Canada 399. Push back and start at my discretion.
Set speed 210.
Traffic. Air Canada 399.
Roger, yeah, it's in and out. That was a little bit better.
Vancouver Center, United 1 full passing by 3,600.
Canadian Express 472 cleared the RNAV Zulu runway 16 approach, Leonard transition.
Cleared the RNAV Zulu 16 at Kelowna Leonard transition. Thanks, Canadian Express 472.
Now at 112, identified climb flight level 260.
Confirmed.
Identified climb flight level 260, United 1 full, thanks.
Alright, so now we're going from Leonard directly to Whitman.
Set Air Canada 7019 is short of 07, ready to go.
Alright. I have to keep my chart window open here, just because there's a couple of altitudes on this transition I got to keep an eye on. Once we get past Leonard, we can go down to 59, so we can set that now.
Canada 7019, hold your reback. United 112, proceed direct Seattle VOR on course.
Alright, max 210
direct
knots.
Seattle VOR on course, United 112, thanks so much.
59, and then once we get inbound 4200 to intercept the flight.
Air Canada 7019, Vancouver, do you copy?
Just going to minimize that like that,
Yeah,
keep that in the corner so I'm ready to use it again.
After calling holding short of 07.
Is that FS2Crew? Yes, it
did
is.
you copy the takeoff clearance?
Negative, we didn't get any of that.
Okay, try again. Air Canada 7019, departure is with me on this frequency. Give me a call airborne.
Pretty well. I'm getting
the wind
kind of used to
190
it
at
slowly
8,
but
clear
surely.
takeoff
It takes a little
07.
while, but it's the same with every FS2Crew product. It takes a little while to learn that SOP. This is a new SOP, new airplane. I've never used FS2Crew with this airplane before, so it is something you have to learn. But I already feel more comfortable with it after just a couple more legs with it. I'm already feeling more comfortable with it, so that's good. I definitely think it's worthwhile. I think I find it's a little bit glitchy. It's a little bit tough to make some of the commands work, but overall it's pretty good. I'm trying not to complain too much. It's overall pretty good. It's definitely better than not having it at all. But some of the commands I'm still trying to get used to saying them. Yeah, doesn't it look great? Like it all looks fantastic as you're coming down here. Especially with the setting sun over there to the west. I might back the time just a little bit. Alright, I'm also going to arm. Approach mode, low glide slope are armed. Flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
It's 42, right? Yeah, 42. Course alive.
Roger.
Loke.
Center, Air Canada 7019, airborne, passing 1000.
Air Canada 7019 identified, climb flight level 370.
Up to flight level 370, Air Canada 7019.
Alright, have the temperature up there. Still -3. Keep the anti-ice on for just a little bit longer. Alright, hopefully I'll spot you guys too on the approach. I'll see you guys sitting there in Kelowna waiting, getting ready to go here. And I'll try and get this turned around as quick as I can. The nice thing is with the DC6, you have a flight engineer. He does a lot of the grunt work for you. Alright, we're definitely below the slope, so we can shallow out this descent a little bit here. Yep. And there it goes anyways. You know what, we'll just let it go here.
Canadian Express 472, winds calm, cleared to land 16.
Clear land 16, thanks, Canadian Express 472. Alright, the winds are calm, that's nice. What a beautiful evening out here. I'm going to take myself away only because I just want to be able to use this for some screenshots for this. As we do this approach here. It's a beautiful evening out there. There's a little bit of cloud hanging out. It's going to be really nice here. Flaps 8. Flaps 8.
Flaps 8.
Alright, just targeting 160 on final as best I can here. Alright, looks like we're below the cloud deck, so I'm going to get rid of the anti-ice just so it stops pulling away my engine power there. Gear down.
Data 112, Seattle's offline. Switch on route frequencies. Have a good rest of your flight. Bye-bye.
Gear down.
Over here, call 122, that's the one way, thanks. Have a good one.
I think I see the runway there, but it's very faint. But it is a really beautiful kind of approach. want to just enjoy the scenery at least a little bit here. Flaps 20.
Flaps 20.
Flaps 30.
Flaps 30.
Set speed 145. Set speed 141. Flaps 45.
Flaps 45. 4 landing check, landing gear.
Down 3 green.
Spoiler 0. Flaps 45. 4 landing check complete.
Gotta always pull that power up when you get the 45 flap in there. That's a nice one.
1,000.
Should actually focus, but just enjoying some of those external shots there. $500 above.
500. 400. 300.
100 above.
200. 100.
Minimums. Landing.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
90 knots.
Whew. Felt like we started to eat up runway really fast there. Everything likes to float a lot. See some dash 8s. One of those has got to be you, Phil. This is Charlie, isn't it? Vancouver, Canadian Xpress 472 off on Charlie, taxi the apron.
Canadian Xpress 472, taxi in.
Taxi in, thanks, Canadian Xpress 472. After landing, check. Park where I get a jet bridge. So I get a jet bridge on this side. See, it's fortunately with the scenery, kind of parked a little crowd in the gate a little, so I'm going to go this way.
All stations, Vancouver Center, be off exit for 5.
Butter. Butter is expensive. Oh, I like it. After landing check. Yeah, he's doing it. He's doing it. Yeah, he's doing it. Okay. I wasn't sure if he was doing it, but he's doing it. Okay, so we'll take this as gate 7 here. I'm going to take it. Taxi light off. Select taxi light off. Might not do it just because he's doing other stuff too. He still says he's doing his after landing flow, so I think there's some stuff that's not done there. There we go. Really wish we had marshalers sometimes still. I'm looking forward to GSX. It's kind of the next thing. So I'm really looking forward to having some marshalers. Alright, parking brake. Just make sure the APU is on. Yes, it is. Go. And seat belts, beacon, fuel pumps, hydraulic 3A, and nose wheel steering. Shutdown check. Shutdown check.
Shocks and brakes.
On and in. In and on.
Seatbelt sign.
Off.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Packs.
Off. Set.
Fuel pumps.
Off.
Hydraulic pump 3A.
Off.
Beacon.
Off.
Nose wheel steering.
Off.
Transponder standby. Shutdown check complete.
Alright. We made it. Woo! Chocks in place.
Standby.
Alright, and yeah, so there we go. So that's our first leg done. We got here. I can trigger this. Don't worry about it. I can trigger the jet bridge here in a second. If it runs. Yeah, there it is. There it comes. I'm going to shut down my FS2Crew now so he stops listening to me altogether. But yeah, there we go. So that's leg 1 done. So we got our CRJ here into beautiful Kelowna. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful scenery here. Even without, now this is the FSIM Studios Kelowna, so obviously adds some real beauty to the whole thing here. But even without it, it's just the terrain around here alone is gorgeous. So anyways, we're going to switch this up a little bit now. I'm just going to make sure my Canadian my CX8 cars has properly saved and sent. And then we're going to change this up. So we're going to do the next leg, and we're going to do off to Vancouver. I'm going to switch it up, and I'm going to hop into the DC6 for this next leg. So just bear with me a couple minutes, guys, while I reset the sim here. I'm just going to throw the away up here for a moment, if I can find it. There we go. And I'm just going to shut this down, and we'll get the other half of this flight underway, the group flight. I think there's going to be lots of fun. So stick with me for just a couple minutes here, guys, while I get reset in the sim. We're going to bring the DC6 out because I think that's a fun airplane as well. I haven't had a chance to fly it all that much lately, and I definitely haven't flown it enough on stream. So we're just going to get this loaded up here. Hopefully it doesn't take more than a couple of minutes. And then we'll get this underway. And in the meantime, I'm also just going to step out for just about 2 minutes here, and I'll be right back with you guys in just 2 or 3 minutes here. Okay, let's just get this back open here. There we are. All right, and let's get me back. Sure, why not? All right, guys, welcome back. Yes, the audio's back up there. I apologize for the noise there. When I reloaded the sim there, for some reason, I thought I had loaded it at the parking position here in Kelowna, but it had loaded on the runway with the airplane running. So my apologies to you guys for that. Yeah, my apologies for that sudden noise there. So I've got to readjust my audio here because I turned it way down now. But that should be okay. Hopefully you guys can hear that slightly. But okay, so welcome back to leg number 2 of our final stream of the Cross Canada Tour, and as you can see, we just have an absolute beast on our hands for this second leg here. PMDG really did go all out, and I've got to say, like, I'm not sure who it was. I think I looked in there, and I think it said that Mark is the one who painted this, but Mark, fantastic job. I know Canadian Xpress did not exist 50 years ago, but if it did, it's probably exactly what it would have looked like. And I just got to say, like, look at the cowls here with the metallic red color there. It just looks absolutely fearsome. Anybody would be proud to fly an airplane that looks like that. That is just a fantastic color on there. I really, really like it. It looks really good. yeah, she is a mean machine, and she's ready to hit the skies. So, without further ado, we're gonna get this going because I don't want this to turn into a super duper long stream. It's already almost 10. I know some of you guys have got to go to bed at a certain point, so let's get this show on the road here. So, fortunately, I have a lot of assistance in this. We don't have FS2Crew, but we do have. If I can just grab this thing, there we go. We do have our automated flight engineer who's going to do everything for us, but first we're just going to go to the ramp manager and make sure that we are happy, or not the ramp manager, the load manager, make sure we're happy that everything matches up with what we've got. So we are taking apparently 60 passengers here. And I'm going to assume at least a 600 or 700, maybe 1,000 pounds of cargo as well. We don't need that much fuel to make it to Vancouver. We really don't. Let's see here. Sim brief plan locks us in at, no, that's the wrong one. That's the Kelowna plan. Here's the Vancouver plan. Yeah, why? Yeah, Kelowna to yeah, Kelowna to yeah. 6,000 pounds of fuel is apparently all we're going to need. So we've got it's a short flight for DC6. Honestly, like it's not even an hour flight. We've got 16,000 pounds of fuel load. So we got 10,000 more than we need. Let's roll it back a little bit. Let's roll it back to about. Let's roll it back to about, say, 12,000 pounds even, which is double what we're supposed to need for this flight. Lots of, and that includes reserves and everything. Like, that's a ridiculous amount of extra fuel. Probably way more. Let's even roll it back to 10,000. Like, realistically, we shouldn't need that much. And now, so it's going to be a pretty light takeoff, actually, here. Looks like our gross weight for takeoff is going to be 83, so we could probably do a dry takeoff here today. All right, so we're going to leave that up there, and what we're going to do is, this thing is great.
Cockpit pre-flight.
The automated flight engineer does everything for us. He's like an FS2Crew, except he's not voice activated, but otherwise he does pretty well. While he's doing that, I'm just going to go to the ramp manager and just get some cockpit lighting going here because it's already starting to get a little bit dark here. And I might just back the time up just like a half an hour because I just don't want to fly in the dark.
Checked.
So let's get this back to about 1826 or so there. There you go, about a half an hour just so it's not too dark by the time we get there.
Checked.
Turn those lights off, it's fine for now.
Radios.
He's doing his thing. Alright.
Checked.
Let's pull up 33.7 on this one here. Alright, and I think that's it. Not you, you stay up late.
Out.
I love it.
Pins. Removed. 3 on board.
Just make sure my trackers are all set here. So
adjusted.
Start my CXA cars tracker. And you guys should have at the top Kelowna to Vancouver.
Idle. Propellers. Forward and 3. Before start checks complete. Start engines.
Alright, before I start engines, I just realized that I don't have my controls set up properly here, so just give me 1 second. We're just going to go in there really quickly and switch it to the DC6. That was the one thing I forgot to do when I switched over. That way we have 4 throttles at our disposal here. There we go. Something right about there is idle. All right, and we are ready to already start engines here. So let's start making some noise here anyways. So we'll start with the number 3 engine. Make sure the starter's set to number 3. Make sure we get the mixture up on number 3. And the fuel pump's on number 3. We are having fuel pressure on number 3. All right, so let's go ahead and hit the starter. Hear it. If you look over there, he's going to call out 3, 6, 9, 12 as the blades pass. At 12, we got to boost it.
9.
So when he calls out 12,
12.
We throw on the boost and the prime. Ah.
3.
There we go. It did start. I accidentally flicked the starter off when I was trying to flick anything else on. And it looks like it's holding. It's a little bit slow. We can go just a little probably closer to 1,000 RPM there. Not too far. Alright, so we did get that started. Alright, now what we do is we turn off the fuel pump for number 3 and turn on the fuel pump for number 4. We check the fuel pressure holds. That fuel pressure is holding. Our oil pressure is good on the number 3. Oil temperature is already starting to climb up. That's fine. And you'll see the cylinder head temperature starting to come up pretty quick as well. Let's get the fuel on for number 4. Magneto's on for number 4. Starter to number 4. And let's go ahead and hit it. Can you see it from in here?
3.
The engineer's counting it for us.
6. 9.
And he says 12.
12.
Boost. Prime. Come down here, watch. You should hear it. You'll hear it before you ever see it. There you go. Got some RPM going here. Alright, and looks like we've got oil pressure on number 4. Cylinder head temperature is starting to come up already on number 4. Turn off the fuel pump again. And prepare for number 2. Alright, so number 4's fuel pressure is holding without the electric pump. That's fine. Number 2 fuel pressure is there. And the other thing we have to do as well, if it's hooked up, is unhook the ground power at this point. Looks like it's not hooked up. We got 2 out of those 4 massive cans rotating. So let's get the other one going here. Magnetos. Mixture. Starter to number 2. And start. You can almost see this one from the blade deck.
3.
Just see the tips of the blades turn there.
6. 9. 12.
Boost prime. And come on, baby. There it goes. And what you'll see, and what I do love about this PMDG simulation too, is that as the engine starts to lubricate and warm, you'll see the engine starts to accelerate a little bit. So it starts off really kind of slow, and then as it warms up a little bit, you have to drag the throttle back a little bit just to kind of keep it at an ideal range. Okay, so we got number 2, oil pressure's up, cylinder head temperature's rising, fuel pump off, fuel pump on, number 2's still holding, number 1's fuel pressure is up there as well. Number 2 is kind of rising a little bit. The other thing I like too is that they have that whole little wiggle there in the flight instructions. It looks really good. Alright, and let's get the mixture for number 1. Mags for number 1. Starter to number 1 position. There it is. And start engine 1.
3. 6. 9. 12.
And there she goes. And now we should see oil pressure's up. Cylinder head temperature starting to rise. Turn off the starter. Turn off the fuel pump. Fuel pressure holds. And you'll see, yeah, I love this neat little shutter here. And apparently that PMDG actually uses that as a little bit of a trick. If you see that shuttering, that means that the engine is vibrating more than it should be. That's an indication of engine vibration, and radial engines hate engine vibration. So if you see that, then that's an indication that there might not be enough. What am I trying to say here? That there might not be enough, or you need to pick another power setting where you're not setting up a harmonic in the engine that's going to slowly vibrate it to death. Alright, so oil pressure, for some reason, on number 1's in the moderate stress range. There it is. Just had to sort of start circulating and get moving. And there we go. So, got all the engines started. Let's do an after start check.
Selective boost pumps. Off and off. Battery switch. Plane battery. Generators and inverters. Checked and on. Emergency lights. Armed. Ground power. Removed. After start checks complete.
You heat on now. If we need it. And let's keep Vancouver call here. I guess it helps if I do actually reconnect to the network. I thought I had, but I did not. Alright, and while we're waiting to see this come in here, what we're going to also do is just pull out checklist here, 389, we need 389 on the ADF. I need that for the West Bank for our departure on the out of Kelowna. And we're also going to need...
Just 269, departures with me this frequency.
Princeton.
Winds calm, cleared takeoff 16.
6 for takeoff, departure with you, Jeff, 269.
So 113.
Support center, hello, Giant 842 Heavy, flight level 380.
Giant 842 Heavy, Vancouver Center, welcome. Are you for the right side or the left side tonight?
We can go with the right side.
There you are, Jazz.
Giant 842, roger.
Alright.
So you know what? Sorry about that, Giant 842. We'll go with the left side.
Giant 842 left, 26 left, roger. Expect that.
Vancouver Center, hello. Canadian Express 472, Airways to Vancouver.
Canadian Express 472, cleared to Vancouver via the Kelowna 8 departure, departing runway 16, on the flight plan route, squawk 0735.
Alright, Canadian Express 472 is cleared to Vancouver via the Kelowna 8 departure, off of runway 16, flight plan route, and squawk 0735.
Canadian Express 472, read back correct, push and start are approved, and call for taxi.
Okay, we'll call you when ready for taxi, Canadian Express 472. Alright, so we get the transponder on, the code is in there, Kelowna 8 departure, so let's have a quick look here. And actually, let's also do this while I'm at it, because this will help if we highlight our flight on the current chart. From Sid Brief, Vancouver. Alright, so Kelowna. We gotta go to Princeton. Alright, so Kelowna, we're looking for Sid, Kelowna 8 departure. Let's just read this here. So the taxi is pretty straightforward. The runway's right there. Kelowna 8 today off of 16, climb heading 159 and intercept track 231 to the YWB West Bank 389 NDB, and then climb outbound track 245 from the West Bank into track file sign ADF line. That's going to really go take me back
Just
here.
279 runway 16, taxi via Delta, hold short
maintain
Alpha.
9,000 north assigned and expect clearance to flight plan altitude. I'm just going to do this one thing here. I'm going to grab a pad and a pen just to write stuff down, because this is old school flying now. Just to have stuff with me. Yeah, we are serious old school flying here tonight now. Alright, so he's happy with the after start check. I'm happy with that takeoff briefing, 9,000. So 159, 231, 249. I almost want to print out this chart just for this.
Air Canada 7019, contact Edmonton Center 135025.
Inbound, 245 degrees.
Over Edmonton 135, have a good one, Air Canada.
Alright, let's do that.
You do?
Center Jeff 269 airborne through 4,100.
Chart here. Alright. Yeah, I think we're just about ready to start here.
269 identified, climb flight level 240.
Flight level 240, Jeff 269.
Alright, and the elevation, sorry, what's the altimeter setting here? I was looking for it and then I got distracted. 3015, so let's make sure we got 3015 on here.
Quebec Express 1, I tried something else. Do you know if it's working? Or? Negative. You're kind of low, though. It could be a radar shadow also, but I don't think so. In my experience, I think it should still show a code to pick up. Not 100% sure, but it doesn't look like it's working yet. Quebec Express 1, I don't know what I can do with it. I tried everything. Okay, Quebec Air Express 1, you cleared on course.
Number up here. And Vancouver Center, Canadian Xpress 472, ready for taxi for 16. We're pretty much at being alpha right now.
Canadian Express 472, winds calm, departures with me this frequency, cleared takeoff 16.
Okay, stay with you and clear for takeoff, runway 16, Canadian Express 472. Alright, cleared to go. Get this big behemoth moving here. Alright, clear left. Let's get the landing lights extended. And turn on. And we'll do the takeoff checklist.
Boost pumps on low. Fuel selector and crossfeed. Main tanks and crossfeed off. Autopilot and carb heat. Off and cold. Hydraulic system.
And Quebec Air Express 1, you can climb on 1000.
Pressure and quantity checked. Okay.
Quebec Air Express 1, I tried to climb on 11,000. Thank you.
Alright.
Flaps set 20. Windows and turbine. Closed and on. Controls. Gust lock released. Free. Detonator. On.
85,000.
Mixture and cowl flaps. Reach and locked. Set.
B1 is 83. E2 is 104.
Landing lights.
83 and 104. Alright, is he done?
Extended and on. Before takeoff checks complete.
Alright, we're going to do a dry takeoff today.
30 inches stabilize. 30
Let that
inches
power up.
stabilize.
Turn this down a little bit because I feel like it's going to get noisy now. And I know you guys don't like noise. Alright,
30
stabilize.
inches stabilized. Cowl flaps. Cowl flaps. Cowl flaps set. Full power, please.
Chaz 279, proceed direct booth. Correction, Chaz 269, proceed direct booth.
Roger, clear direct booth, Chaz 269, thanks.
Try and round up.
Full power set.
Here we go.
China 842, when ready, descend flight level 260.
When ready, down to flight level 260, China 842.
And we're airborne.
Buzz ring, gear up. Gear selected up.
A lot of up trim here.
Gear up, lights out.
There's a nice hump to these edges, isn't there?
Center Chaz 279, show Alpha, ready to go at 16. Chaz 279, runway 16, line up and wait. Line up and wait, runway 16, Chaz 279.
Jump too far. Should automatically sequence once we get high enough.
Vancouver Tower, good evening. Air Canada 566 requesting IFR clearance to Edmonton.
Air Canada 566 cleared to Edmonton. Georgia 6 departure, departing runway 26 left and the flight plan route squawk 0701.
Alright, now we're setting climb power. track 231 inbound with Beacon here. All while hand flying.
Clear to Edmonton. Didn't catch the departure from runway 26 left, squawk 0701, Air Canada 566.
Georgia 6 departure.
George 6 departure for Air Canada 566.
Air Canada 566, read back, correct. Pushback startup approved at your discretion. Call for taxi.
Climb power set. Enter takeoff checklist, please.
Alright, hopefully we can clear these mountains.
After takeoff checks complete.
Yeah, we're not quite perfectly on the track, but we're not bad. 10 degrees off. So. Considering I haven't really done serious NDB tracking in a long time, we're not doing too badly here.
Air Canada 297, are you on frequency?
Canadian Xpress 472 is airborne through 4,000.
Express 472, identify, climb 12,000.
Well, line 12,000, Canadian Xpress 472. I looked up here to set an altitude. I'm like, I don't have an altitude.
Jazz 279 departures with me this frequency. Winds calm, cleared takeoff 16.
Departure with you and clear takeoff runway 16, Jazz 279, thanks.
Hopefully he doesn't catch up to me too quickly. 165 knots, that's all I got. Jeez, jumping the queue. What can I say? Just happened to be in the right place at the right time. I'm enjoying this though, hand flying still. Still hand flying. Any second now we're going to pass over that West Bank NDB here.
Vancouver Center, good evening.
Right
Air Canada 297, check in, flight level 360.
Air Canada 297, Vancouver Center,
we got a
plan
nice
26
trip
right,
out
when
here.
ready, descend flight level 260.
It's good, this is exactly how you want to do it.
Plan 26 right, and when ready down 260.
I can put the autopilot on. This does have a very simplistic autopilot. But I would rather... I'd rather just sort of hand fly a little bit here. I mean, she's a heavy beast. She certainly doesn't turn on a dime, that's for sure. She took a bit of effort to keep her climbing and going, but once she starts actually accelerating into the climb and you get it all cleaned up, it actually doesn't climb at a half-bad rate here. We're easily mustering 1,200 feet per minute here.
279 advancing 3.3.
Just 279er identified. Climb flight level 200.
Flight level 200, sorry, Jazz 279.
Just waiting to see this ADF just flip right to the other side there any second now. We gotta be just getting close. Sure. Just on the, it's on the west side. It's a little bit down the valley here, actually. I guess it's on one of these jets here, so not bad. Maintaining a half-pad climb rate though. Once we get into cruise, we'll probably be cruising at about 300 knots, 250 knots maybe. The dash will definitely outpace us, but it's definitely gonna be a lot closer. I'd give it a little more forward speed right now, but I really do want to make sure we clear these mountains. So at least 9,000 feet, we know we cleared some of these mountains. Maybe give it a little bit more forward speed. But 165 is not giving us a half-back climb rate in this airplane. There goes the beacon now. Okay, so I'm just going to turn to the outbound track of 245. Just past the beacon. So past just a tiny bit to the south of it, but not too bad overall. Just make a nice right turn over here to 245, and then once we pick up that heading, let's see how we're actually tracking here. Give it a minute for the beacon to fall behind us. We're not doing too bad. We climbed out of the valley. Didn't hit any solid walls. We're doing okay. Let's see if I can do like a 5-degree intercept. So there's about 250. 250 and just wait for this needle to kind of swing around as we go outbound here a little bit here. Old-fashioned VOR tracking and NDB tracking. This is really taking me back. You've really got to have good situational awareness to be able to do this.
Jazz 269, when ready, descend 12,000, altimeter 3015.
Should be about at 240.
12000, 3015, Jazz 269.
If I can center it this way here. I can center this needle. Okay, closer to 210 than 240. Alright, there's 9,000. I would feel comfortable going. We can turn on course now. We've made the MSA for the Kelowna area. And if I go, I believe 11,000 is the sector altitude here. Somewhere right about here. Yep, there we are. Just past the peak a little bit there. It's falling behind us. We've got a 5-degree correction on it. Yeah, not doing too bad.
Jazz 279, check the transponder. It looks like it's off.
Jazz 279, I see my transponder on, and my pilot client seems to indicate it's home.
There's a lot of that going around. Okay, thanks.
No way.
Blame the tech team. That's what I do. I blame the IT department. Alright, there's 10,000. He's got the lights all off already. Vancouver Center Canadian Xpress 472. We can accept direct Princeton any TACOM. We've got dialed up.
Express 472, roger. Proceed direct Princeton VOR.
Direct Princeton VOR, thank you. Canadian Xpress 472. Alright. Let's take the most direct route rather than fly this way forever. Alright, so 210, 205. 30 degrees to the left over here. Already less than 2,000 feet to go to our cruising altitude. Not too bad. We'll have a look outside once we get going there. You can tell my... Hey, the IT are doing the best. The us IT are doing our best. You can tell by the lack of proficiency in English. Do I dare say it? Have you tried turning it off and on again? See, I'm not actually really criticizing the IT department because I know that in
Jazz 279, proceed direct booth.
In the VATSIM world, you know, we all have to be grateful for the time people give. People give so much of their own time to this network.
Vancouver
don't ask anything in return.
Canada 563 for radio check.
To make a little recognition.
Canada 563, VD5.
Alright, how are we doing for an outside air temperature here?
Roger, Vancouver Center looking for clearance
minus 12,
for
minus
departure
15.
to
I think we're going to get the NDBs on for this.
in Kelowna. Looking at clearance for runway
cabin heater and the airfoil heaters are going to get chilly if we don't.
Information Bravo.
See if I can get this leveled off. And then I'll turn
Canada 563, yes it is. You're cleared to Edmonton.
So we got some heat going to the left and right
departure,
wing.
departing runway 16, and the flight plan route, squawk 0763.
Heater, tail heaters coming up anyways. Climb pretty quickly here as we approach 12,000. Let's not pitch over too quickly.
Copy that. Florida departure for on runway 16. Can you repeat this?
Here we go.
Please?
Bet you guys didn't think I could find my way from Kelowna to Vancouver. IMC using just VORs.
763. Your Canada 563.
Give me VORs in the chart.
563, read that correct. Push back, start up or approved at your discretion. Call with frequency for taxi.
That's just going to keep me level here though.
Roger, we'll call. Air Canada 563.
What's going on here? Alright. This is one thing apparently I'm not doing a good job at, is trimming. And getting this giant behemoth to level off nicely. Alright. Just settle in a very shallow climb there and just ease it up there. I want to see if I can do this without necessarily engaging the autopilot yet. Rocketing out of the clouds though is not going to make that go any easier. That's for sure. Okay, I'm going to give up for that.
Jazz 269, if I didn't say so already, it's going to be runway 26 right.
Roger, plan 26 right, Jazz 269.
Altitude hold mode on. 30 feet low is not too bad. I'm going to go into localizer mode and it's going to track that look for me. But not too bad. We made it all the way to 12,000 feet. Kind of got it leveled off. Okay, easy, easy. You're only like a couple degrees off course here. They're only like 4 degrees off course, maybe. Like, we don't have to go crazy here. Easy, girl. Oh, what a beautiful airplane. I love these red, metallic red edges. They look really just sick. I love it. Really nicely done. Okay. Let's make sure we've got our DME up here. We've got 19.5 miles to go till we get to Princeton.
Canada 233,
I've got to be ready for the next leg.
Hello,
so
plan
when you're doing this kind of thing, like this, there's a reason why they hire a full-time navigator to do this sort of thing. There is a lot of work. I don't have an actual leg for Princeton to booth, so what I have to do is go to my flight plan. We drew it out before we left. Hold on. That one, no, that's the old one. Sorry, this is the new one. CYQL-CYVR. So what I'm going to need is a track, indicated magnetic track from Princeton. 369. Victor 369, yeah, it's an airway. I should have it on there. Oh, you know why? Probably because this isn't high. That's why. That's why. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Uh, 262 gets us to booth. So 262 is our next track when we get to Princeton. Alright. And just for redundancy, put it in there as well. 262. So when we get to Princeton in 13 miles, which is 0 minutes away, according to this, we're going to turn to an outbound track of, I forgot it already, 262. 262. This is why I got this pen, so I can write down my tracks and everything. And then once we make that turn, then we're already going to start planning that arrival in Vancouver. What beautiful terrain, too. Like, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous part of the world. The scenery looks really good, especially heading down to the setting sun here. I'm kind of glad I backed the time.
269, descend 5,000. Let me know if you can't make the restriction of Steve.
It's a really nice kind of view we're going to have today as the sunset. It's going to be really sick. This whole thing is just... I can't get this airplane operational provided the flight engineer does like 2/3 of the work for you. But that's the way it was back then too. Like the pilot, there was the idea of one pilot flying and one pilot monitoring sort of really was not the case back in the day. Like with the flight engineer, the captain was flying, but the flight engineer did the majority of the work and actually kind of managing the aircraft as a system, as making sure that the engines were sufficiently being cared for, the fuel tanks are being swapped when they need to be swapped, all that sort of stuff. The flight engineer really did that. Like nowadays in a modern airplane,
Giant 842 heavy, descend 12,000, altimeter 3014.
Just a hair. Yeah, we're very kind of used to that, and I think that's actually quite loud, so I'm going to turn this whole thing down a little bit there. I think that's probably pretty loud for the whole stream. I don't want to be talking over that too badly here. Alright, we got 6.4 miles to go. So Princeton VOR is down here somewhere. You can always play Spot the VOR. That's always a fun game to play. I enjoy playing that game sometimes, see if you can actually spot the VOR in the field or wherever it is. The only way I'm going to find where booth is if I fly this radial, this airway out of Princeton. No RNAV today, no GPS, just 2 navs, just 2 VHF nav radios and an ADF radio. And that's it. 7 at about 2, we'll probably start turning to that outbound heading because what I might do is... Right now, we're going to lock it back into heading mode here.
Canada 563, wind calm, runway 16. You can taxi by Alpha, line up and wait 16.
Alright, so we're going to start the right turn.
Roger, taxi by Alpha.
The 265 track.
Line up and wait for runway 16.
262, sorry, 262 track. There we go, 262. Mile away. Let's kind of stabilized, which makes me think that I chose a pretty good turn rate, a pretty good time. Oh, look at that, centering pretty nicely there. Oh, look at that. Yep, didn't like that. Okay. Didn't like me going into localizer mode when I was already in roll mode, so I've got to disengage the autopilot, turn it back on, re-engage it, and then now it's on again. And now I can probably look into localizer mode. There we go. And it'll track that localizer outbound back across the mountains. But I have to say, I was pretty considering, you know, just sort of freewheeling it. I'd say we did pretty good there at lining it up within about 3 or 4 degrees of our outbound track. Going past the VOR. Rob's breaking things. I'm not breaking things. The autopilot just didn't like it. It's not broken. Oh, and now we're climbing too. Oh, son of a bugger. Pitch it back down. We gained 1,000 feet while I was looking. Where's the autopilot? I mean, where's the co-pilot to tell me these things? Oh, jeez Louise. I broke it again. I broke it again.
Air Canada 233, plan 26 right. When ready, descend flight level 260.
It went better when I was hand flying.
Descend 260 when ready. Air Canada 233.
Gotta say. And that was just me slipping and dialing the wrong thing there. That's all that was. That time. See, I told you you're breaking things. Okay, come on. Down you go. 12,000 was our cleared altitude. Come on, plane. We gotta do this. Pardon me. Alright, so now she's tracking that VOR
Vancouver
out.
Center,
I'll have to figure out what the distance is to
566,
boost
ready for
shortly
taxi.
here. Once I get this leveled off at 12,000 where it should be.
Air Canada 566, wind 170 at 5.
Yeah, I was doing better when I was hand flying it.
Altimeter 301.
The thing is, like, there's no pre-selects on this autopilot. Like, you have to
taxi,
baby
Juliet
it.
Alpha, Juliet.
Watch till it
Hotel,
gets to where you need to be, and then just engage
hold
the
short 26 left.
altitude hold mode at that point. So it's very. It's not that it's finicky, but it's that you have to really work hard to try and get it to work properly here.
Runway 26
It really requires
left,
way more
taxi
attention than your
via
typical
Juliet,
autopilot.
Alpha, Juliet, Hotel,
Now we're within 200
Alpha, I think.
Kind of going in and out of
runway
these
26
files, which
left,
is sort of not
Air
helping our
Canada
descent rate here. It's going up, it's going
The
down.
last one was Delta.
So Juliet, Alpha, Juliet, Hotel,
We're going to be in
Delta.
Vancouver by the time I get this
Air
thing
Canada
stabilized at
566.
altitude. I did such a good
Canada
job to
563,
hand bombing it,
with me this frequency.
but it just did not like it.
Wind calm, cleared takeoff 16.
Roger, clear for takeoff, runway 16, Air Canada 563.
Chaz 269, descend 3,000, cleared the ILS 26 right approach.
Already there. We just left.
3,000, cleared ILS 26
You're already
right
there.
approach, transition
Yep, we lost the ADF. It's gone to the wing. Alright, there's altitude hold mode re-engaged. Let's not mess with the autopilot anymore. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly have a look here. I assume I'm not going to be able to get a voice data to work, so I'm not even going to bother trying. So first things first, on this chart, let's just see here. It's 40 miles to Cayuga and then 26 to boost,
And
so
Vancouver Center, Canada
66 nautical miles to boost.
Climbing to 3,000, through 3,000.
And the other way we're going to know is we're also going to have to tune in the arrival and get the references off the arrival there. So let's go ahead and open up the Vancouver charts here. We're doing the only non-RNAV arrival we can do, which is stave here. So in order to do stave arrival, we have to tune in Vancouver 15.9, and it's the 51
Canada
radial.
563, I'm not seeing you at all. Not confirming a mode, Charlie.
No, not 41 degree radial from Vancouver, so 159.
Mode, Charlie.
Let's get this ready here.
But turning off. We're going to double check that here. I'm not sure what's going on.
159, and let's actually pull it up on number 2 so we can see it.
Flight level 320.
Alright, so we got 159 on number 2. There it is, it's already found it. We're looking for the 41 radial inbound.
Vancouver Center, Canada.
And then VITEV at 45 PM East Dave, max 230 knots, below 12,000, which we're already below. Which is bogus top dot, so the next one after that is Victoria 13.7.
Vancouver altimeter 3014.
Okay, revise down to 12,000 for Canada.
Nice. High airspeed now. We picked up speed in that descent and we won't let it go. Alright, we're going to plan for an ILS to 26 left Vancouver because that's the, we're going to go to the
269, wind 170 at 5, gusting 15, cleared to land.
So when we need it, we're going to need 110.7, 263 degrees, 263 degrees, 110.7.
Vancouver Center, good evening. WestJet 442 in Kelowna, gate 6, with Charlie looking for IFR clearance to Vancouver.
Another Kelowna to Vancouver flight.
Cleared to Vancouver, Merit 2 departure.
It's a popular route, that's for sure. Alright, so the other thing I'm going to need to do is plan a descent here. So we need to be 3,000 feet, no later than Knoxoff here, which is 9
Okay,
PM.
it's Merit 2 departure, runway 16,
10 miles back, we need to be at 3,000 feet, slowed up.
Ocean 442, read back correct.
So we're going to need about 10 miles level before that to slow
Your
up.
discretion, call me on this frequency.
I might even give it 20 miles. So
we'll call for taxi, WestJet 442.
20 miles out from the airport, we need to be level at 3,000, so we got to lose 9,000 feet.
Try 842 heavy, descend to 5,000.
We're going to need to lose about...
That's 5,000.
Oh, let me think. So we descend about 4 miles a minute. And we got to lose 9,000 feet at 500 feet per minute. So first of all, that's going to be 18 minutes we're going to need to descend for. And then at 4 miles a minute, it's going to be about... some math here in my head. 4 times 18, 72. So 92 miles out from Vancouver. Pretty much almost already want to start our descent here. About 100 miles out right now. Can't go below 10,000 anyways until we pass booths at VITEV, so this might be a problem here. Can't go any lower than 10,000 until we reach Stave, so we got to be 10,000 in Stave. So pretty much we can start that descent once we get to that, once we get to Booth here, which is again 66 miles. Wow, really kind of just old school thinking here. Such a nice airplane, and it's so much fun to fly. Like it really challenges the brain in ways that I am not. You get to watch my progress with the cover of the radar. Yeah, let's see how well I can do this here. It really is exercising skills that I have not had to use in a long time, but I'm kind of enjoying that challenge. I really am. I'd like to have more chance to do that. I think we're going to have a problem getting down in time for runway 26, to be honest. We'll have to probably do a pretty quick descent, and even then with
Chaz 279, descend 10,000, altimeter 3014.
That's 10,000, Capt 279.
And I just wonder where everybody else is now. So how many people did we get to do this here? 279, 629, 269, 279. Xpress 2, and now we've got who's that's right, Claudio's taken off from Kelowna as well, coming down here. I don't think he wants to be part of our flight, but just doing it just for fun. But yeah, I gotta say, like, I do enjoy like the the whole level of modeling here, the fact that even the whole flight engineer station is modeled. I can put it down if I want to, and he can sit there and he can do whatever. But you know, he's got his headset there, and he's got the radios and everything here. Like, it really kind of, they've gone to a great level to actually model this aircraft, so you feel like you're really sitting in this aircraft. And it's, once you sort of get everything up and running, it's not a bad airplane to fly. It's this whole like idea of just me doing these things like, you know, just old-fashioned, like old school, like literally just pulling up the charts. I have the chart right here, and that's it. That's what I'm flying. I can even overlay this on here, and then it's kind of a little nicer. And I can cheat if I really want to. I know about.
I'm picking you up.
About 20 miles from me, so I'm right about here.
To me, I don't know. Maybe it's something with the road S.
But I don't want to. I
anyway.
really want to prove that we can do this. Just using these instruments, and it's kind of nice. As much as I like the scenery down here, it's kind of fun. It's IMC. Like, I really have to. I really have to work. I have to work for this to work. If I don't focus and pay attention to what's going on, we're definitely not going to make it. Let's have a little fuel flow quantity check here. We're burning about 1,200 pounds per hour. Each tank's got
279 to send 5,000.
2,000 pounds in it, so we got a little under 2 hours. We got easily 90 minutes of fuel in the tanks. And we're going to start bringing the aircraft, the power back here. So
Canada 297, vectors for your sequence, turn right, heading 270.
270, Canada 290.
Canada 297, expect boost in about 5 minutes.
I imagine this is going to be a little bit kind of intriguing for Brad as well, just trying to kind of squeeze us in. Probably behind everybody else. It's definitely a little bit slower than everybody else. Floodlighting. Put the floodlighting on for now.
Taxi.
Got a lot of sunlight in our face.
Taxi to Lima K30,
still minus 10, minus 12 outside. We definitely need those heaters on still. It's funny, the cabin heater doesn't do anything.
Quebec Express 1 with Vancouver Center. Quebec Express 1, Vancouver, go ahead.
Okay, I adjust my GPS for Capt Nabs approach on the Evil Stoke. I'm not sure if I'm right, but
kind of into the yellow as well, so we should carb the ice on as well.
Waypoint. Quebec Express 1, roger, understood, thanks. You cleared to the Rostock Airport, throw and approach. The wind there, 360 at 7, altimeter 297. Quebec Express 1, clear fine approach
there. I'm just trying to recall some of the stuff here. It's approaching
7842, heavy descend 3000, cleared the ILS 26 right approach, goal rate transition.
Gotta track 41 inbound.
Down to 3000 and confirm it, runway 26 left approach for the NDB.
Make sure again, 15.9.
Sorry about that. Yep, 26 left approach. Save it, transition.
And it's a 041 radial, which would be the 221 radial inbound, I think, VOR. 221 inbound.
Only 26 left, line up and wait, Air Canada 566.
Air Canada 566, are you ready to go?
Yep, you're ready to go.
Okay, Air Canada 566, departure is with me, this frequency. Call me airborne, wind 170 at 5, gusting 15, clear takeoff, 269.
Calling you on departure.
It's crazy to think that this airplane also just burns through so much oil that they have an auxiliary oil tank that you can actually route oil to any of the 4 engines. You have extra oil, and if any of the 4 engines strains a leak or starts to run low on oil, you can route an extra tank worth of oil into those engines. It just burns so much oil. Getting close to 041, which is good. 58 miles. 66 is what we're looking for, so 8 miles to go. Looks like it's going to be about right. You don't want to mess around too much.
Quebec Air Express 1, surveillance service terminates. Switch to the en route frequencies. Give me a call back on this frequency on the ground.
Quebec Express 1, Rogers.
do love the hum of these engines though. There's a nice tone to them.
Giant 842 heavy. The wind 170 at 5, gusting 15, cleared to land 26 left.
See, there's a wind chill heat too, and I don't know where it is.
And Giant 842 heavy, traffic just departing 26 left now is 787, he's rolling.
Vancouver Center, Air Canada 5.
Wind chill heat in this airplane somewhere, but darn it, I can't remember where it is.
Zero cruise, line bringing us a little bit of a turbulence and requesting the flight change.
That's approved. Which would you like?
I'll take 34.
Nope, I did it again.
340.
Any odd one you like?
How about 35? 35 times 37.
Canada 563, climb flight level 350.
Flight level 350, Canada 563.
Alright, so we gotta switch it to the Vancouver VOR 221 inbound.
American Center, Jas 269, active 30, all shutting you down. Thanks for the ATC service.
That's 269, Rogers. Yeah.
2-1.
Express 472, descend 10,000.
Descend 10,000, Express 472. Alright.
Air Canada 297, proceed direct boost.
Descent check.
26
Direct boost, Air Canada 297.
Sitting 26 inches.
Now he's going to set our descent power. Might have
Air
a
Canada
little
566, the altitude passing.
bit of trouble getting down, but we'll do our best.
26 inches.
Vancouver Center, Air Canada 566.
Okay, so next we need the Victoria VOR.
Climbing 3,000 right now via George.
Air Canada 566, altitude checks identified, climb flight level 340.
Low. Descent checks are complete.
Okay, so at stage,
Flight level 340,
DME 37.
Jas 279, descend 3,000, cleared the ILS 26 right approach, go right transition.
That's a 3,000, then cleared the ILS runway 26 right, go right transition, Canada
37.
Jas 279.
Air Canada 566, turn right heading 350.
Alright, so we're waiting for DME 37, and then we're doing 210
Turn
Victoria.
right heading 350, Air Canada 566.
7. Then we gotta get the local brigade as well, 10.7. Sort of just scrolling my frequencies across here, from right to left, back up my number 2 extend, back up my number 2 to back up my number 1. Alright, so it was 11,000. There are some mountains out here. You don't want to mess with the terrain around here. Vancouver, can you say the local altimeter setting in Vancouver?
3014.
3014, thanks. Good here. You have to press the B button in this every once in a while because it, otherwise the altitude mode will not lock in properly. Alright, so we'll look at 37 DME, right? 37 DME. That's where we intercept that Victoria radio. 210 inbound Victoria. While we're leveling off at the same time. Alright, so we're going to go back to heading mode here. We're going to go flip it over to Victoria. 13.7, we're going to select 210. Beauty. And it's right in the center. Switch it back into loc mode and it's going to track that one. I did that in the time it took me to try and figure out how to And I didn't level off, so that was, I kind of reduced my descent rate just so I wouldn't be leveling off while I was also trying to transition to this radial down here. So now we're just passing Stave.
Channel 279, wind 170 at 5, gusting 15, clear to land 263.
Clear to land runway 26, right there.
Yeah, we're starting to see some progress here, starting to flatten out.
566, proceed direct victory on course.
Direct to victory on Concorde, Air Canada 566.
There's the 10,000. Altitude hold mode engaged.
King Express 472, descend 7,000.
Descend 7,000, King Express 472. Alright, down we go. 7,000 now.
Air Canada 297.
I feel like we're going to be a little bit hard pressed to make it down there, but we'll do our best.
5,000 Air Canada 297.
If we need a little vector, so be it. After 43, we just keep tracking this thing down anyways.
Giant 842, going to apron 4.
Giant 842, we're heading to apron 5.
Okay, Giant 842, taxi.
Yeah, 500 feet per minute is a pretty realistic descent rate to keep in this airplane. 1,000 is really a little bit too tough.
And Delta Sierra or Delta Tango?
I realize I'm not talking as much, but I'm really kind of enjoying this process. And I'm just trying to make sure we can make it down there in time. I know it's not as exciting as some of the other commentaries I do, but I'm really enjoying them. I really enjoy the challenge of flying this airplane. One of the most fun I think I had in P3D was Canadian Xpress had a challenge like 3 or 4 years ago where you had 1 month to bring a general aviation airplane from Montreal to Edmonton, like a Piper Cherokee or Baron or something like that, like something pretty small. So I took a Piper Arrow all the way from Montreal flying it properly VFR most of the time. Like occasionally I do like an IFR leg, it's really IFC, but I tried to do it mostly VFR, pull out the charts. It took a long time. Like I probably logged like about 15 hours doing it, but it was so much fun.
Contact Edmonton Center 135.025.
At the end of the day, it was just so much fun to do that.
135.025.
And just knowing that you can do this, that you can navigate the old-fashioned way, VORs and airways and everything, it's
King Express 472, descend 5,000.
Descend 5,000, King Express 472. Alright, 5,000. Just keep it going here. And we need to get below 174 knots once we level out in order to get the flaps deployed, so we are probably going to need a vector. Widen this out a little bit here. So we just passed, let's see, Optot is at DME 43. So in 5 miles we're going to pass Optot.
Express 472, this will be vectors ILS 26 left.
Okay, Express 472, we copy vectors ILS 26 left. Is there a Vancouver beacon anymore? The ILS? Probably not, right? Ooh, there is. Ooh. Okay, let's tune that in. That'll just be some good guidance sort of where we are. 266. Because I really find myself, like, I am a child of the magenta line. I find myself sort of struggling to sort of maintain some situation awareness. I know where I am along the airway, but in terms of like sort of crossing the airway, I really have no concept of where I am. Yeah. Unfortunately, we are going to need to probably circle around once or twice to lose some altitude here. Because that's like the airport over there. And at the 500 feet per minute that we are losing altitude here, it ain't going to happen.
Express 472, turn right, heading 230, descend 3,000.
And Express 472, right turn heading 230 and descend 3,000. Alright, 230 heading. Let's see how this looks here as we kind of line up. So what we can do is we can do a range check.
Normal. Fuel booster pumps.
That's too far. Too far. That's 230 right there. That was already too far. So.
On low.
Xpress 472, 5 miles from the intercept, sorry, 6 miles from the intercept, cleared the ILS runway 26 left approach.
Down. No smoking signs.
Okay, cleared the ILS 26 left, Canadian Xpress 472.
In-range checks complete.
Alright, let's get 110.7 up here and let's see how it looks. Because I feel like we're probably going to struggle here. I don't have the glide slope yet. But, let's see here. So that's the airport over there. And, approach from Canadian Xpress 472. Could we, get a vector for about a 360? We just need a little bit more time to lose altitude and slow down here.
Yeah, I was wondering, Canadian Express 472, turn left heading 170 for now.
Left turn 170, thanks Canadian Express 472.
Yeah, 279 is vacated, runway 26 right at Mike 4.
I didn't see you guys since we left Kelowna, but...
279, gate 30, taxi Mike Juliet Lima.
So heading 170 for now. Yeah, it's a good thing we're with VMC here too. Yeah, we are way above the glide slope, but there's no way we're going to catch it. We need to be level for about 10 miles before the glide slope in order to lose enough speed here to get the flaps going. And unfortunately, with that arrival coming over those mountains, you just don't have a choice. You're sort of stuck. You're stuck up high way too long. You don't have a choice. You have to get some kind of a
Vancouver Center,
an extra space kill.
2 engines are complete, ready for taxi 110.
Because these engines do not like to be brought back to like idle in flight. Really, they don't like the loading of being at idle where the propeller are driving the engines. It's really not good for them. So we've got to just give it a little bit of time here to lose altitude.
Altimeter 298, runway 16, taxi via Delta. Hold short of Alpha.
Okay, 29908 for the altimeter, taxi Delta.
That's probably Abbotsford over there.
On Alpha, WestJet 442.
Express 472, in a couple more miles here, you can expect a left turn to head north and re-intercept the ILS with a 26 left from the south.
Okay, Canadian Express 472, yeah, that should be perfect for us. We'll need about 10 miles level just to get her slowed down before we start down on the glide slope.
Roger.
She's a bit of a beast. She does not slow down. Somebody's following us in there.
Air Canada 297, descend 3000, clear the ILS.
Just gonna get rid of me for a minute here. Not that.
Okay, dear, down to 3000 and clear the ILS approach, correct transition. Air Canada 297.
That's 472, turn left, heading 350.
Left turn 350, Canadian Express 472, thanks. Alright, there's the maximum rate turn. We're coming down through 5300, another 2000 to level off. This should work out now well, I think. Yeah, there was just no way we were going to make that descent. We don't have any kind of speed brakes really we can throw down. The only thing we can use to slow down is the flaps, and we can't throw them out until we get to 174 knots, so they're really not much useful in a cruise descent. They're really only useful for the approach. Look at that. The clouds reflecting off this window here. Going past the other side. Just, oh, you gotta love this sim. Yeah, as soon as I got this glide slope, we're a little far out now again for the glide slope. We lost the glide slope. As soon as I saw it tuned in there, I'm like, oh, we are above it, and you can't intercept this one straight in. You have to level off because you have to have room to slow down. You just need to level off to be able to do that. That's all you can do. All right, 60. Miles. Yeah, this will work out well. We turn final from this distance. This should work out nicely here. Yeah, that's much better. There was just no way. Whoever that is, we're going to follow them in now. This is fun. I got it. Like, this is just... It's fun to go and do something very different, too. That's 350 right there. I just went sailing right through it again because I wasn't paying attention. But it's just fun to do something different. You know, I feel like a lot of my streams, they do end up being a lot of the same stuff. I try to sort of make them different by commenting on different stuff and you know, trying to fly to different places. But at the end of the day, they all end up being fairly similar. This has been quite the unique experience here. 4,000. getting behind Air Canada 297. Yeah, I saw him there somewhere. Yeah, there he is.
Express 472, turn left heading 290.
Left turn at 290, Canadian Express 472. So 290 on the heading now. Get leveled off at 3,000. This is going to work out just okay. Alright, we can probably turn off the all the anti-ice here at this point.
Express 472, 3 miles to intercept, cleared ILS 26 left approach.
Alright, 3 miles from the intercept to the ILS 26 left. Thanks, Canadian Express 472.
Air Canada 233, descend 5,000.
Hopefully she still do it. 400 feet to go to level off, then we got to lose our speed.
Ship 442, departure is
to get our flaps out. Flaps is really how we're going to control our
on the wind
descent.
Calm, clear takeoff 16.
Clear takeoff 16.
Yeah, we are below the glide slope, so that's good. Hopefully we can do this. Hopefully we got enough space to lose altitude here. The speed's starting to drift back. We got to come back to 174. There's low.
Canada 297, wind 170 at 5, gusting 15, clear to land 263.
Clear to land 263, Air Canada 297.
Alright. 3,000. We'll get the altitude hold mode engaged. And we'll also engage approach mode, so we'll follow the glide slope down when we get to it. We need to lose about 20 knots here still. Alright, I'm going to cheat a little bit here. And we're just going to pull just a little bit of extra power off. Aiming for about 80 BMP, BHP here. BMP, what is it? BMP. Trying to find it just right here. We need to lose our 190 knots. We're still a little bit fast here. I don't want to pull too much more power off. Lose about 10 more knots and we're not going to lose it. Going to put us back in low mode. We're going to fly through the glide slope because we really have to get these flaps going.
Express 472, is that going to work out?
Canadian Express 472, I think we'll be okay. Alright, here comes 173, right? 174. 174, let's go flaps.
Vancouver Center,
20.
WestJet 442, climbing through 3,700.
WestJet 442, identify climb flight level 280.
Climb flight level 280, WestJet 442.
Let's go ahead and do it before landing check.
Climbs 20. Setting flaps 20.
Just sort of picking up speed a little bit as she catches the glide slope again. Ooh, that was a little bit close.
Express 472, wind 170 at 5, gusting 15, cleared to land 26 left.
Clear to land 26 left, Express 472. Why did he stop doing the checklist? Like he didn't do anything. Let's get the gear down at least. That'll drag less of drag because we really need drag. She's not dragging down. There, now we're getting some drag coming on here. Hoi. Alright, now I think we got it kind of under control, but we still only got 1,500 feet to lose the rest of the speed to get down to our VREF.
Flaps set. Mixtures rich, please. Auto rich. Mixtures set. Gear up and down, please. Gear up and down. Gear down and locked. 3 rings.
The Alpha 134 VREF of 105.
500 RPM set. Cal flaps +3 degrees. Cal flaps set. ADI. ADI off. ADI is off. Landing lights. Speed good. Extending lights. Lights extended and on. Carbine.
Get a little more flap going here.
Set calm. Before landing checks complete.
Let's go full flap. Speed to bleed off here. It looks like it's going to bleed off. Yeah, that was tight. That was okay. We managed to make that work. I think if I could follow the glide slope down, I wouldn't have had a chance to deploy the flaps. I think that would have ended up screwing me completely. Alright. Now it's looking okay. Autopilot's off.
Hey, Vancouver Center, Canada 297. We're clear of Mike 6 and company sending us to 45.
Canada 297, gate 45, taxi Mike Juliet.
Mike Juliet, Air Canada 297.
Flap setting off here.
C2 connect. Air Canada 233, descend 3000, cleared ILS 26 right approach.
Allow us to accelerate a little bit again here.
3000, clear C6 right approach, right transition on Air Canada 233.
That'll lose too much speed.
WestJet 442, proceed direct boost.
WestJet 442, direct boost.
That approach was a little bit spicy. I definitely was feeling the pressure to get that thing slowed down, and that is the funniest thing about this. Like, you don't think about a piston airplane like this as being particularly fast, but she is slippery. She doesn't have a lot of ways to slow down once she gets going, and that in lies the real challenge of flying this thing, is learning how to slow it down. Whew, I was starting to feel a little bit of pressure there for sure, but. Canadian Xpress 472, clear on hotel going to South Terminal.
Express 472, taxi by Alpha and Foxtrot, your discretion.
Alpha, Foxtrot, your discretion. Thanks, Canadian Xpress 472. Alright, actually I was on Echo, but that's okay. Alright, let's go ahead after landing flow. This taxiway is going to be awfully narrow for this big beast too here. I think they are. They're not that bad. Like every pilot, I assume my plane is as big as my ego. Woo! I was sweating on final there, just wondering if it's going to be able to slow down enough to get the flaps out there. It really is, at the end of the day, it's what you're kind of wondering about. I love the shake, like even down here, like look at this. Like, the whole panel starts to shake a little bit if you get like the engine's having a bad harmonic there. And it's a big indication, like the engine stress visualizer here, like if you're getting a big vibration, it's a sign that you need to change the power setting to something different. Alright, let's go park in the South Terminal and call it a day. But guys, thank you so much, first of all, for watching. Thank you for those of you that did participate in the flight as well. Group flight. It was nice to see some familiar faces.
233, wind 170 at 5, gusting 15, cleared to land 26 right.
Some familiar faces, as it were, down in Kelowna. Nice to see some aircraft, some traffic. Brad, thank you so much for being here to provide the ATC. Just absolutely great fun. Tons of fun. Just ignore that. La la la. Don't even see him, and we're just gonna go. Just continue on the taxiway. Okay, and he's gone. There you go. But yeah, I just want to say, like, thank you so much for being here, for providing ATC. Thank you guys for being here and providing some traffic, some other airplanes to look at. It's just some fun and watching, as always. It's yeah, it's all a bunch of code names: Mr. B, Mr. D, Mr. C, Mr. K. Yeah, thank you to Nathan for the ATC there in Edmonton, leaving Lethbridge as well. Like, it was great to have that as well. So thank you guys, everybody, for providing ATC, for providing a chance to have a really fun adventure here. And yeah, what a workout. That was I was feeling the pressure to slow this down. I really was.
Over 2206 and for IFR clearance down to Port Empty.
Sierra Victor Alpha 2206. Just going to be closing up in a minute, but just so you know, I don't see a flight plan on file for you right now.
Alright, that's probably close enough right there.
Roger, stand by.
Go ahead, here. Set that parking brake, and alright, buddy. Hit it.
Shed 442, you can climb runway 26 right. I'm signing off right now. You can switch to the en route frequencies and have a great rest of your flight. Vancouver's landing 26 right. Altimeter 3014.
3014, 26 right for WestJet 442.
Good night,
Vancouver.
Vancouver.
You're going offline, but have a good evening. Until the next time, my friend.
There we go. That's not too bad. 11:11.
We'll talk to you next time,
This
buddy.
is about the amount of time I'd allocated for the stream,
brother.
so it's actually a pretty good estimate.
566, Edmonton's offline. Switch to en route
within 10 minutes
frequencies. Have
anyway,
a good
so
landing up there.
yeah. Oh, you guys have been chatting and I haven't been reading because I'm just so focused on flying this piece, but love watching pilots sweat rather than just hearing them sweat. Yeah, that was yeah, thanks to Capt Nabs for proving why I never want to fly the DC-6. That is definitely one of the more stressful flights I've had in a while, trying to time that descent. And at the end of the day, it turned into I couldn't even time it because of the terrain. I wasn't thinking about the terrain coming over that mountain. But at the end of the day, I couldn't get the plane down. I couldn't start the descent any sooner, so I had to just buy some extra time. But yeah, if anybody flies the DC-6, please, by all means, that's how you know an experienced DC-6 pilot. They plan their descents way in advance, and they are ready. They are going down. They are leveled off 10 miles at least, if not 15 miles before intercepting the glide slope, so that they can slow back. They can get the flaps down. That was a challenge to get that done, but I really enjoyed that, and I'm looking forward to the next challenge. Of course, the next challenge is Cross the Pond on Saturday, guys. I'm super excited about it. I'm sure you guys are super excited too. So I will be streaming that one as well, starting around 1930 Zulu. Beyond that, we're going to start flying the A320 in my pilot's life career, but as soon as I do get a little bit more money from this stream, I will be putting that Concorde in my hangar as well. I think next month it's going to roll over to the point where I've accumulated enough money to receive a payment for my streaming again. So as soon as I get that, that Concorde's going to come in my hangar. I'm going to stream that as well. I'm going to take a few days and learn it a little bit, so I'm not a total fool. But I am definitely going to be putting that Concorde in my hangar, because I think that's going to be a fun challenge. It's going to be very different from flying the DC-6, but you know, at the end of the day, like, it was not a very advanced. It was an advanced navigation system for its time, but pretty basic compared to what's available now. So, going to be fun to try and learn to use that. If you get it, I will, so I can fly with you. Yeah, I definitely will. It's just a matter of just saving up a little bit of money right now. Like I said, I think probably the next time I get one of those a payment for my royalties, I'll put half of that towards getting that thing, because it's really not that expensive either. It's $40 US, working out about $50 Canadian. It's not that bad of a price, honestly, for a pretty decent airplane. So I think that's going to be definitely worthwhile. I think we're gonna have tons of fun, and we'll be able to fly to Europe in a single stream without having to, you know, walk away and go to the bathroom for 4 hours. Because we could do it. We could do it nice and fast. So, anyways, that's it for me for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had fun. Tune in Saturday night for Saturday afternoon for Cross the Pond, and I will post my Pilot's Life tentative schedule sometime next week. We'll hopefully resume these Pilot Life legs. In the meantime, good night, stay safe and healthy, everybody, and we'll see y'all real soon.